The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. Visit standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
April Fool's Day. Yeah, so be careful.
April Fool, motherfucker.
April Fools!
April Fools!
If you're one of the millions of people addicted to April Fool's Day pranks, help has arrived at the April Fool's Day Treatment Center.
I will not cover toilet seats with saran wrap.
Call today for a free evaluation.
I will not call the airport and page Michael Hunt.
Look for wildly scattered hijinks followed by sudden office pranks. There will be increased tomfoolery with a slight chance of untied shoelaces. Chance of sitting on a toilet that's been wrapped in cellophane. 80%. Happy April Fool's Day. And remember, trust no one.
April Fools.
Start the show.
Ah, there you go. Wake up. Get your ass up. It sucks, I know, but you got to get up. It's time. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. If anyone's got any April Fool's jokes in mind, might as well get it out of the way now, huh?
Before we do that, I just wanted to praise Ashley, who got here early today. Got all her stuff done before the show. Ashley, nice work.
And she never
she's
showed
not
up.
Here today.
Yeah.
April Fools!
We got you guys!
April Fools, sucker!
She never showed up, Cubby.
She's not here, no. Not feeling too well.
But is that some kind of a setup?
I don't know. First thing I thought when she texted was, she's messing with us. It's April Fool's. I looked at the calendar. I produced the intro. I know it's April Fool's.
You put it all together.
Well, here's the thing is, you know, is she going to drop from the ceiling and scare the hell out of us or something? Because it would be a strong base for a prank. She misses work so often, we're so used to it, that our guard would be down. This is nothing out of the ordinary to be missing Ashley, because she misses work all the time. So, I mean, you guys go ahead. Is it a setup?
Not that I know of.
The fact that she's not here yet, I'm going to say no. But that's what I thought. She'd walk in, psych, here I am.
Dressed as a clown with a machete in her hand or something.
She'd never do that. Never dress as a clown. But yeah, I thought there was something going on.
All right, we'll wait on it.
We have an Ashley tracker.
Ashley tracker?
Yeah, we've been keeping track this year, so here we are, April 1st.
Right. For the calendar year of 20 plus 24.
Right. Just 4 months into the year, here we are. Late 21 days.
21 days she's been late.
Later than half hour, just once.
Oh,
only once.
She's improved that.
Yeah, and
over 2023.
3 sick days.
3 sick days?
You know, let me take that back. 2 sick days and possibly a prank.
Yeah. We'll give her the benefit of the doubt for today so far.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it would be a good base for a prank, because it ain't no thing. Could be missing Smashly. There you go. April Fool's Day today.
Social anxiety Jesus prediction. Maybe she has a parade to be in later?
Oh,
A
April
parade.
Fool's Day parade.
All right. There was a day years
St.
ago.
Patrick's Day.
What, St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, it was a St. Patrick's Day parade.
Right.
She couldn't make it into work. She wasn't feeling well, legitimately wasn't feeling well. You understand. She's not feeling good, doesn't come into work. But she did go to a St. Patrick's Day parade that exact same day. But you remember why.
Oh, because she made a commitment.
She made a commitment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. She's good. Tell you what, if you're planning a prank on somebody, just curious, text us, 651-989-9393. Fill us in on what the gimmick is. We won't give it away. I swear to God, we won't. We wouldn't sell our listeners out on the air. I just want to know if you're sitting on something and you're ready to spring it on somebody later today, text us. Swear to God, we won't give it away. Just interested. I'm interested in you.
Anal Glenn Jesus actually had emailed in a couple. She's performed on her husband. I bet she's performed on her husband. She's pranked her husband over the years. One was she made a glitter bomb for his toolbox.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
So they worked at a body shop, and she had messed with his car to make it sound like something was going on, right? She taped some stuff underneath the dashboard, I think she said. And it was so bad, he's getting so frustrated. You know, he's a car guy. He couldn't figure out what was going on, looking at the engine, looking at everything. Brought it to his co-workers. Can you guys figure this out? But all along, it was just her, and she made him a fool in front of everybody.
That's good.
She's also doused him with fart spray in the past.
Doused him with fart spray? What do you mean, doused him?
Well, I'd imagine sprayed it on him, poured it on him.
Just a whole can of fart spray right on him.
Yeah.
God dang. No, I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, just to charge up on somebody and spray them with fart spray. I don't really call that a prank. That's an attack. You know, that's what I'm worried. What were the circumstances? Was there a trigger that he had to trip over or so? At any rate, you know what? I've always wanted to try, but I've always been afraid I'd hurt someone and they'd sue me, or they would just be injured and that would be a terrible thing, depending on who they are, is that cellophane across the hallway type thing. Where hey, Donnie, you got a phone call or whatever the setup is, and they come running, and the cellophane just clotheslines them. And
done.
That looks like such a riot, but I've always thought, especially now that I've gotten older, for Christ's sake, someone will break an arm or something like that.
Dude, they did it in Jackass. God, that was so funny. They had the giant hand, and it was behind a doorway.
Giant hand?
Yeah, they had a giant hand. They called it like the giant high five or something. That was the name of the prank.
Okay.
And so you would pull it back behind a door, and you can't see it. It looks like it's an open doorway. When someone comes walking through, you let go of the hand that just slaps them. And
there wasn't a tripwire or anything like that? There was just someone on the other side of the door holding on to the
Holding
giant...
onto it, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a spring, and oh my God, did some of the guys get it so bad. One of them fell back, and he hit his head on the floor.
His head hit before his body did.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
I used to get the older kids a lot. And a lot of the classics, right? Just the rubber band on the spray hose on the sink, things like that. Saran wrapping the toilet seat. Saran wrapped some friends' cars. Moved a friend's car, and we let that joke go on too long to the point where he almost called the cops.
All right, so a couple of you are texting in on what you have planned for April Fool's Day. Whether you're serious or not, I'm not sure. This one sounds like a joke, but I dig it. Dead from the waist down Jesus says, I've been in a wheelchair for almost 7 years. I think today's the day I'm going to stand up. April Fools, he says.
That would have been awesome.
It's a long con right there.
My sister has a gluten allergy, says Big Rig Fenders Jesus. Would it be too mean of a prank to take a single tiny breadcrumb and put it in her food? I don't know. I don't know much about that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would affect somebody. I know people have it. I just don't know what the ramifications are if they do have it.
I know a girl who has it, and it's real bad. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't know how bad it is usually, or if she just has a severe case of it.
Even a single breadcrumb?
I couldn't tell you. I just know if she has gluten, it's bad. Dry-aged ribeye Jesus says, why is April Fool's Day like a huge open mic night for stand-up? Tons of people go out of their way to prove they're not funny. Yeah, some people just aren't good at it. Like they'll come up and break your nose. Ha! April Fools.
Gotcha.
Or it's just mean more than anything.
Crazy fish guy Jesus. I'm going to put a harmonica in the grill of my coworker's car and zip ties on the drive shaft.
Oh, that's good.
Cubby, how was the damn weekend?
Oh, it was great. We enjoyed a little Easter get-together with the family. Saturday, I went to the auto show. I love going to the auto show. Met a couple of listeners. Thanks for coming up to say hello. That was cool.
That's awesome.
Saw some cool vehicles. Saw a $350,000 Maserati.
How many did you buy?
One for each of you.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so wow.
One for each of you.
Thank you.
That's pretty sweet, a $350,000 Maserati.
Yeah, they had a $300,000 Maserati in the luxury lane. Ended up buying some fitness equipment, which, of course, you'd expect to do at the auto show.
That's the reason you go.
I was walking by, I'm like, hey, fitness equipment. I've been kind of want to buy some of those, and they had some show sales.
And you had texted me while you were standing next to the DeLorean, which I think is very cool.
Yeah, I went over to that area because I knew you'd like it. They had the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo, the
sweet.
DeLorean, of course, from Back to the Future. They had from the Munsters, whatever that thing is they drove.
Oh, yeah.
There was a retired military vehicle. I don't know even necessarily what it was, but it was gigantic. Whatever this was, they painted it black. It looked really cool, like some cool stripes on it. And they made it a camper. And there was even like a tow-behind military vehicle. I have no idea how legal that is. They were selling this thing. So we were asking them, do you need a special license? The guy's like, oh, I don't think so. But it weighed enough where you'd need a special license. That thing was cool. Saw the State Patrol, all the stuff they usually have out there.
A trip to the auto show for Cubby.
Love those things. Absolutely love them.
You ended up buying some exercise equipment.
At the auto show.
What do you buy? What did you buy?
I bought a functional trainer.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what is that?
It's like kind of an all-in-one thing. So I've been looking for them for a while. They just had a couple show specials. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to get one of these finally.
Dude, no way.
They were, believe it or not, a little slow at the auto show over there, but I heard they picked up later on. By that I mean the functional trainer section was a little slow when you're looking at the mystery machines.
Yeah. Oh, well then they were very excited to see you.
Oh, I think so at first, yeah.
You were one of the only people who visited the exercise equipment portion of the auto show.
At least early in the morning.
It's like when my buddy at the state fair, we walked into the eco building. Is that the proper term?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I did not want to go in there. I'm not an eco guy. But this pal of mine, he's kind of hippy-dippy. So as we were walking around the fair together, he says, do you want to duck into the eco? I said, I don't want to go to the eco, but I don't care about it. And he said, just come on in with me. Mm-hmm. We walk in, and there was one dude who had a booth, and it was something along the lines of how to turn brown rice, broccoli, and olive oil into fuel or something, right? Right? Just the dumbest thing you've ever, And the dude had a full stack of flyers, you know what I mean, on the table. No one had touched them. Nobody had touched them. No one asked this guy word one about how to turn broccoli, brown rice, and olive oil into fuel. The dude himself is reclined in a chair with his feet up
basically sleeping
on the table. Just, for Christ's sake, this was a bad idea, But of course, my buddy, who he has to have conversations about all of this stuff, all of the newest eco-friendly stuff. That's his thing. He walks up to the guy and says, "So, tell me about this new fuel." And the dude behind the table with his feet up, he looked behind himself. You really want to? You're asking me? And I just said to my buddy, I'll see you in an hour and a half. Because I guarantee you that brown rice, broccoli, and olive oil guy was sick of my friend after 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
I had the same thing at the state fair when I went and talked to the Faces of Meth booth guy, where he looked around too, like, you're honestly going to talk to me? That thing was a little slow. Have you guys, by the way, ever been in the Faces of Meth booth at the state fair?
I have not been in the Faces of Meth booth.
I've been to Cambridge, though, so it's kind of the same.
Well, here might be the difference. They have a before and after picture of a meth user, right? And sometimes it's a very short amount of time where the look is completely different. And that's kind of, it's a scared straight type of thing. Mm-hmm. But this guy, I learned a lot about, what was going on with this guy. And he legitimately was very pleased someone would talk to him. All right, check out Better Lego Display Than Dana Jesus on our text here. He took a picture of that Maserati I was talking about.
The Maserati. Did anyone
just looks expensive.
Did anyone there pretend that their face is a Maserati?
No.
Getting hot, Tay. It's a Maserati. Ted Nugent, Wango Tango.
Oh, yeah, I agree with this text. It sucked that the Jeep and Ram didn't have, usually like, what do they call it, Camp Jeep, where they'll take you around in some of the Jeeps and you're like inverted and you think you're going to fall over and stuff like that. And then Ram, they show you how much it can tow. I guess Stellantis, they are not a part of the show. Those were local dealers, or it's still going on. It's local dealers there, so that's why I think it's called Camp Jeep, wasn't it? I was disappointed too.
They let you drive the vehicle around on
No, they don't let you drive it. They have a driver, but you get to experience kind of everything that a Jeep can do, right? And not just Wrangler, they're a whole product line.
I hear you. They did not have that set up.
No, that was a bummer. But they had the Ford GT there and the racing simulator.
Sweet.
That's fun.
I hear you, man.
And then I went on a ride-along Friday with
that's right.
A special unit within the Minneapolis Police Department.
Boy, you had a busy weekend.
I know, it's stupid. This is more than I ever do.
So many activities. You're done for 2024, aren't you now?
It's ridiculous. I hate having more than one thing to do. And I got a thing tonight. I hate having things to do, especially more than one a week is stupid. And so it was kind of a crazy weekend. But it's funny at the end, and it's always this way when you go on a ride-along. For folks that have gone on, you probably hear the same thing. Hey, sorry it wasn't more exciting. But it was the most excitement I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh, really?
Friday.
What?
You saw some action?
I've never experienced...
The most excitement you've ever had in your entire life?
By far.
What the heck? Well, Christ almighty, you got to tell us what happened.
So I'll share what I'm allowed to, okay? So like I said, it's a special unit within the Minneapolis Police Department. And the first thing we do is we're in a surveillance training. And so we're following, like there's a car, right? And everybody's going, all right, he's turning over here, he's turning over here. You have all these different guys, right?
Surveillance training.
Yeah, so you're in an unmarked, you're driving around, and they're teaching you how to do this. If you get burned, you're out. I think that's kind of the gist. Learned how to sort evidence. We went on 2 warrants, which was really uncomfortable. Sat in on a briefing, right, for all this stuff. All these things I felt like I was just uncomfortable. Like, these guys are going to look at me like, what the hell? Why is this guy here? You know, and they didn't. They were cool. And then one time, and so, I'm afraid to say too much or do too much. I just kind of stand there and look stupid. And
understandable.
In one case...
You weren't looking stupid. I'm sure you look quite confident.
Well, I was quite honored because I was mistaken for a police officer 3 times, and I thought, hey, maybe I don't look as dorky as I thought. I mean, because these guys, I'll tell you about their looks in a second. These guys all were like, they looked like the part, right? And like undercover studs. And so they have this search warrant they serve, and there was a lot of officers. They're all armed, everybody's doing their thing. It's a dangerous situation, obviously.
And there you are. You're with all these officers.
There I am.
At an apartment or a house or something?
Right, and I've got a vest. They put a vest on, bulletproof vest, not like a fashionable one. And
you get out the car?
Not till it was all cleared and good to go.
Oh, gotcha.
But I would have been just fine in the car, just being around it. I would have been totally cool with that. And so... like I said, I didn't really say too much other than the officer I was riding with in the car. We talked a lot, but one of the neighbors came out, and again, there's a huge police presence. I'm going to guess 20-some cops.
All right.
And, they all look, intimidating. And so this guy comes out, and he's like, hey, is there anything I need to be worried about? I'm like, no, man, just a noise complaint. That's why we're here. It's incredible.
You were in the car. A neighbor walks up to the car and asks you.
At that point, I was standing outside.
Oh, is there anything I need to be worried about?
I just told him it was a noise complaint.
You were on the spot at that point. That's pretty good improvising on your part.
I didn't want him to worry.
Go back to your house. It's just a noise complaint.
Some dude's cranking the tunes too loud.
Yeah, so
that's a pretty good answer to keep somebody from, getting squirrely.
Yeah, so I didn't really know what to say. And then one of the other cops talked to him. But so when I first got there, though, to the precinct, I'm meeting the officer, and I hadn't met him. He's a listener, and he had said, hey, I heard you like to do this. Would you like to go? And I did.
That was the connection.
Yeah, that was the connection. And so he had said, when I first saw him, I started kind of laughing because he looked like an action movie star. The dude's 6'4", got to be like 220, just ripped. He's got like this super fashionable sweater on. His gun's tucked in his belt. He's got like a tight Italian leather jacket on or whatever. He's gorgeous. Uh-huh. And I thought, okay, come on, this can't be right.
This is not real.
It was like somebody walking right out of a cop movie. Uh-huh. Yeah, it was great. So to the Minneapolis police, thanks for letting me come along, and thanks for not making me feel like a dork.
I'll be damned.
I mean, I felt like one, but they didn't perpetuate that.
You were a little nervous going into this one.
I was a little bit, just because I've I've never, experienced any of that kind of stuff. That was cool that they let me be a part of it. I've never been a part of that kind of stuff.
God dang. I'm glad you made it out of there. Are you done for a while now?
Yeah.
You've done 2 in a week.
Yeah. There's one that I may be doing.
What the hell?
Another, it's cool. We have a lot of cops that listen, and another one texted and said, hey, down the road if you want to do one. So I might do that. I think I got to take a break. I feel like a nerd. I feel like people are even listening going, what a nerd. Why does he keep doing this? I haven't turned down an opportunity. I like to do it.
All right. Well, then.
Even though I feel stupid.
Slow down on this a little bit.
If I ever get arrested one day, I really hope Josh is there on the ride along when it happens.
Yeah. I wanted to bring that up. When people said brotherhood, we gave him a free pair of handcuffs with any citation.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you think you're done, but there might be another one coming up.
Yeah, there could be.
You're just out of control, son.
But this guy was great. He's like, hey, I'm super close to retirement. We'll keep it easy. We'll just kind of relax. No, not too much excitement. I don't want too much excitement either.
That was the most exciting day of your life.
And Firefighter Jesus, of course, I didn't forget about you. We appreciate all the first responders, military members, everybody that listens. Yeah, I was just singling out the cops because we're talking about those ride-alongs.
What happened with the firefighter?
He just said, don't forget about me, Firefighter Jesus.
Oh, right, dude. Man, you had a hell of a weekend.
Yeah, a little too much.
I had one of those deals this morning. This bit is much more fun on days off, where my alarm woke me up and I didn't have any idea who or where I was or why an alarm was going off. Isn't that something when that happens?
Yeah.
It was just for about 10 seconds.
Why'd you set an alarm? What'd you have going on?
No. It was this morning.
Oh, this morning.
Yeah,
I thought you said over the weekend.
Maybe I did. I didn't mean to.
Maybe I misheard.
This morning, just for about 10 seconds, I had no idea about anything. That's about as close as any of us will get to the feeling of amnesia. It's a wild feeling. And by the way, once I figured out who I was, where I was, and why an alarm was sounding, I was not pleased. Not at all.
Oh, this isn't the alarm to wake me up because Britney Spears is here at my house alarm. It was
the Britney Spears at my house.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but it happens, I don't know, to me once every few months. It's really fascinating how long it can take you to go, oh, okay, sure. I guess that means I was out must have been I was out, you know what I'm saying? Like really out.
Mm-hmm. I have done that move where we've had time off of, vacation time, as we do from time to time. And I forget to turn the alarm off, my daily weekday alarm, and all of a sudden it goes off, and I'm like, oh, wait, I don't need to get up right now. I can just turn this off and go back to bed. That is a wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you had that issue because you remind us, don't forget to turn your alarm off.
I know, yeah, because it did happen to me the one time, and then I was like, oh, I don't want to make that mistake again.
That's what inspired it. Gotcha.
Exactly.
By the way, more wins for Josh here. He's out at the auto show. He buys a treadmill. He's hanging out by a $350,000 Maserati. Next thing you know, he's on a cop ride-along. He's beating up bad guys on the street.
Oh, that didn't happen.
One more win for Josh. I love to bust your balls about your indoor shoes.
Yep.
And just a day or two ago, I read an article. Doctors have your back on this whole thing, the indoor shoes.
That's why I sent that to you, just to show. And you know what? A few people have made fun of me over the years. Listeners text in indoor shoes, and then a few of them said, all right, I owe you an apology. I bought some, and it's awesome.
I still think it's ridiculous and silly to wear tennis shoes inside. Absolutely. But, yeah, you sent me this article. It will, according to doctors, it will save you from experiencing foot pain.
That's exactly why I started.
So if you want to go down that route, I mean, I never wear shoes.
Well, don't you wear slippers?
No.
I do.
I thought you'd said before your Crocs indoors. I thought you said you wore slippers or Crocs, one of those two.
No, I've never worn slippers or Crocs indoors. Socks, I might have socks on now and again. I'm still going to continue with the way I operate because I haven't experienced any foot pain or any back pain. But that's the route they take here, is wearing indoor shoes will dummy down your chances of having strains and stress fractures and all this stuff like that. That's great that you found this article, Josh.
I guess that does make sense because, like, when I'm cooking in the kitchen and I'll be in there for a while, I have to put on my slippers because it helps the arch of my feet. You know, it doesn't give me pain throughout my whole body.
So, the doctor said slippers don't. You must have a special kind.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't have any foot pain, back pain, nothing. If I, walk around barefoot, but that's cute.
Well, if I do got great sandals, then Alpaca Connection at the Mall of America.
I don't know.
That's where you got them?
Yeah,
those alpaca ones?
Yeah, they're so comfortable.
That's funny.
Oh, so comfy.
Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder are going to be swinging by a little bit later. There's plenty to talk about as far as jock sniffing goes. We hope everyone had a great weekend and a great Easter. And happy April Fool's Day. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll be back in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
What companies would you want to work for? Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks which companies are a force for good. Companies like Bank of America, which just earned the prestigious Just Capital 2024 seal. Bank of America is ranked #1 in the banking industry and #1 for their ongoing commitment to workers, offering best-in-class benefits, including a minimum wage of $25 an hour by 2025. Visit justcapital.com to learn how a just business is a better business.
Furnished by Just Capital.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, you jagoffs, here we go. We got a wild one here, boys. A wild one. The kind of gal that'll punch your mouth loose if and you don't go down on her properly. This is a great way to start our stupid news report for the week. It is. In Alabama, a 25-year-old gal with the name of Christine Qualls. And one cute little number, if you ask me, by God. You check her out, Cubby?
Yeah, I think so.
One
She's
cute
very
little.
cute.
Oh, my damn. She had what they call here a domestic dispute with her partner, a fella named Christopher Idle. Christine and Christopher. That's cute, huh?
Quite the couple. If they have a kid, I'm sure there'll be a Chris in there somewhere, don't you think?
Maybe Christineth, I think, would be a good name for a daughter if they have a daughter.
Rudith? Is that a name?
It is a name.
Rudith or Christineth, sure. So Christopher says, remember, they had a domestic dispute over there, and it sounds like it had to do with oral sex. Christopher says they had just got back to his place from the neighborhood bar. Now, it isn't spelled out with any specifics here, but it is certainly hinted that the first thing they did once they got back from the bar was get her pants off of her so Christopher could dump some oral on his lady. He's a brave man. So he went for it. He went ahead and threw back the shutters, you might say. But the whole works went sideways. At one point or another, Christopher took a little break from eating at the Y. You know what I'm saying? He took a little break so he could get a drink of water. And then he went right back at it. And this really aggravated Christine. Not because he took a break, but because once he took that drink, she said, quote, his lips were cold.
Isn't that, for some of you more adventurous lovers, something that people do? They ice things down and whatnot?
Yeah, some folks dig that. Some folks dig that. Not this Christine, apparently. because her boyfriend went ahead, took a break, took a drink of water. He went right back to doing what he was doing. And because his lips were suddenly so cold, she started repeatedly punching Christopher right in his glistening face. And he had to go ahead and call the damn cops. The shots to the mush that this guy fielded, they left him all swole up. And crazy-ass Christine was taken into custody for domestic assault.
It's ungrateful on her part.
Mm-hmm. And you know they're going to stay together.
If not, good luck to the next guy. Hang on to something, son. But yeah, they're not going anywhere, Chris and Christine, Christopher and Christine. But if they do break up, good luck to the next effing guy, because this gal is something.
She's passionate and demanding.
Mm-hmm. If she does move on to the next guy, and they're having a conversation, what happened with your last relationship? Well, I punched him in the face repeatedly because his lips were cold while going down on me. Oh,
yeah, I would never criticize someone who's nice enough to do something like that for
right? Beggars shouldn't be choosers.
Pal of mine was once late for an Iron Maiden concert because of oral sex that he was charged with performing. He had a girlfriend, and she was something, I'll give him that. Woo-wee, she was. This is my pal Joey. Once in a lifetime opportunity that comes around every once in a while. You've been involved in those, haven't you, Josh?
Tons of them.
This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that comes around every once in a while. Me and a couple of buddies, including Joey, we had tickets to go see the following acts in order. Queensryche.
Dude.
Rob Halford.
Double dude.
Iron Maiden.
Triple.
Oh, I would have went right to quadruple.
Quad dude.
Quad dude.
This is 20-some years ago. 25 years ago, maybe. And, Joey is as big a fan of all those acts as any of the rest of us who were at the show. And we all planned on meeting there. This is back in the day when you could hand someone a ticket ahead of time and they'll just meet you inside the venue. Queensryche performs, and they killed it. You've seen Queensryche, Cubby. They're unbelievable.
It's a clinic.
Halford comes out. This is, again, a long time ago. Rob could still just shriek, and he's doing all the old No Joey. No Joey was...
Still.
Queensryche, Halford's done.
Oh, man.
Halford's act is done. Still no Joey. What do we got? Maybe 20 minutes or so between, Halford and Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden's ready to take the stage. The sumbitch still ain't there. Joey comes running in, sweating his nuts off about 2 minutes before Iron Maiden. I said, what in the hell is the matter with you? You missed Queensryche. You missed you almost missed the first song from Iron Maiden. I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah, I'm sorry. I parked quite a ways away, and I had to run here. I said, well, that doesn't explain why you're 2 hours late. What the hell? What's the matter with you? Yeah, she made me go down on her before I left the house. Yeah, I couldn't. I said, what? And he said his girlfriend was, I guess, so upset with him for leaving her alone that evening to go see these 3 bands that she demanded that he service her before he leaves. And he argued this. He said, I don't have to do that for you. I'm going off to a guy. Well, what if I said that to you when you wanted to go out with your girl? And they got in this big, massive fight. And finally he said, fine, lay down. Fine, I'll do it. And then, while he's doing it, it's not good enough, so he has to start over again. I said, this is the stupidest story I've ever heard in my friggin' life.
Sounds like he had plenty of time to come up with a better excuse than that.
Good Lord.
What? Sometimes Dana just... The truth is the way to go in something like that. Mm-hmm. What else is he going to say? He missed some incredible acts.
Yeah, he's just pouring sweat.
You got to tell the truth.
Oh, yeah, she made me go down on her before I left the house. Sorry, boys. What did I miss? This gal here, though, she just punched the lights out of her boyfriend because his lips got cold. And it stung her a little bit down there. You know what I'm saying? All right. That's why I don't get involved in that kind of thing, oral sex. It always leads to trouble.
I'm sure I've disappointed women while being intimate, but luckily it's never resorted to violence where they punched me. They were so disappointed.
That's good.
Never disappointed somebody that bad.
I don't even give them the opportunity. Man, okay. This here next story, I mean, it left me speechless. When I was watching the video and reading the story, I imagine it'll have the same effect on some of you. It's just so effing stupid. It's just so pathetic and stupid. It's difficult to explain, especially if you watch the video or hear the audio that the cops recorded while arresting this lady in stupid Florida. I guarantee it'll piss you off, just simply because there are people out there who act like this. I'll try my best here to keep it together. A terrible, disgusting lady in a town called Palm Coast, Florida. Last Monday, someone or another calls 911. They tell the cops that a woman had left the local Walmart with a cart plumb full of items that she didn't pay for. The 911 caller gave the cops a description of the car that the gal was dumping all the stolen items into. When the gal realized someone was watching her, she took off away from that car, and then apparently this disgusting lady tried walking back towards Walmart. I'm guessing to make it look like she just got there and had nothing to do with this heist. So she was stopped by the cops. The body cam footage showing what this gal had to say to the cops, her excuse for this heist, is just so effing pathetic, it made me want to puke. She admitted to stealing the items. She did. She claimed the car that she was spotted putting the items into was just a random car that was open. So the cops said, that car, whose is it? I don't know. It was open, just a random car. She also said that she left her ID and purse in that random car. So when the cops say, do you have some ID? No. Well, where is it? That's in the car. Where's the car? I don't know. And she went on to explain that she was playing a game called 21, where someone grabs as much merchandise as they can from a store and walks out without paying for it while trying not to get caught.
Oh, you're playing a game? Move along.
Playing a game.
Right. Oh, they're 21. Okay, gotcha.
No,
all good then.
I could argue that every shoplifting event is hoping to get away with it without getting caught.
That is, right.
So we're all playing a game when we shoplift.
I'm guessing you have the audio of this friggin' idiot.
Well, that's complicated. I recorded the audio, I bleeped the profanities, but I just realized I forgot to send it to myself from home last night.
Fair enough.
So I'd play it just from this video, but
she curses.
Says the S word. And
the best part of the audio is, again, so I'll try to sum it up for you. The cops, hey, we spotted you grabbing you didn't pay for your stuff. Someone saw you put it in a car. And like I covered already, she doesn't even know which car it was she put the items in, just a random car. She's like, I don't know, it's silver, gray. The cops are like, well, which car is it? I don't know. Where's your ID? Well, it's in my purse, which is in that car. Which car is it? I don't know. The best part of the audio is one of the cops says, roughly something like this. The cop says, okay, let me sum this up. You put all the items in a car, including your purse and ID, and you don't know which car it is? And she says, yes. And the cop says, hey, makes sense. That's the best part of the whole friggin' scene. She later admitted that the car was not random, but a rental car that belonged to her boyfriend. They found, the cops, baggies full of marijuana, meth rocks, a scale, a pipe, burnt residue, all that stuff. Now, what the hell does this do for anybody? Also in the car, cops found several 1-ounce silver bars and rounds. What does that mean? Silver bars and rounds. What is it?
For rounds, do they mean like bullets?
Ammunition?
Okay, I'll go along with that. Copper bars A platinum bar? What is this?
Don't know.
Just like precious metals, maybe?
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So you guys are as lost as I am. That's fine. And this lady was arrested. It just makes you wonder how the hell we're ever going to make it with people like this wandering around. The attitude that this gal had from the start. I wish I could come up with the word, Josh. Just the way she came off was so aggravating.
Yeah, and she kind of acted like the cops were dumb for not getting it.
Right, for not getting her story, believing her story. And then, and then later on, of course, when she realizes she's screwed, there's screaming and crying and F-bomb everyone that crosses your path. It's just disgusting. Disgusting.
The brother and sister are telling us rounds means coins. I've never heard that term.
Coins. So she had a bunch of coins and silver bars, copper bars, platinum bars. Can anyone explain that? What are you doing with that? Why was that even mentioned?
I'd imagine she probably stole that, too.
This was a tough one to wrap my head around. Simply because of one detail. An important detail. We got this one from Japan. The gist of the story is nothing out of the ordinary. A dude got himself deep in debt. He needed money like a sumbitch. So he sold 2 of his mother's cars without her consent. One, a Rolls-Royce automobile.
Ooh, that'll fetch you money.
And one Mini Cooper. That's worth a few bucks, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. Especially that Rolls-Royce.
Rolls-Royce.
That had a 6.6 V12 in that baby.
I assume that's good?
Yes.
Okay. He forged her signature to sell the cars. He did, this guy. But the reason or the way this dickhead got himself deep in debt is what threw me. It must be a very Japanese thing. It says here now, he blew through all of his monies buying flower arrangements for female singers at nightclubs. I don't know what. I don't understand that, and I doubt any of you do either. And there's no real explanation here. There's no mention here in the story of how much money these silly flower arrangements were costing him every time he fell in love with a singer. But it led the guy to straight up steal from his own mother.
It's been a hell of a lot of flowers if he has to sell a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, no kidding.
Kent is the dude's name. The story says he would go to nightclubs and buy flowers for female singers. I don't get it. Like karaoke? I don't know. And next thing you know, he's flat ass broke. I guess. So he pulled this sell mama's cars behind her back gimmick. The story goes on forever from here, talking about how the whole car stealing and signature forging worked. None of that is interesting. But what I take away from this poor bastard Kent, he must be one of those people that falls the F in love. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Real easy. He just can't control. Do you guys know people, I mean, aside from Wapple and Dana, who will obviously fall in love with and then even marry someone really quickly, or at least get engaged to them very quickly. Do you know people who fall in love real fast and then become idiots?
Yeah, I can think of one guy in particular. Oh, you already said not Dana or Wapple.
Yeah, not Dana or Wapple.
So I can think of a guy.
What I mean by that is the love affects their behavior. They spend all their money. They don't spend time with their friends anymore. They dedicate themselves completely to their new flavor of the month girlfriend or boyfriend. You say,
Yep, I've got a couple friends like that.
Isn't it something to see?
Yeah. Yeah, you want to hang out with them, but nope, they're always off with their significant other.
And they take up a hobby that they would have normally never had any interest in whatsoever, but all of a sudden are very passionate about it.
Yep.
Totally. One of my oldest friends was notorious for falling deeply in love with a girl the second she made physical contact with him. Sometimes it didn't even take physical contact. Sometimes it would just take a comment or a look. But if that didn't work, as soon as she, bing, touched him, it's all over. all over. And it was a effing riot to watch that happen. I mean, one of the best examples was in high school. He had a one-night stand with a girl. And it just so happened, I don't know, a week later, we filled out those senior summaries, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where you have to, if folks don't know, when you're a senior in high school, maybe some towns don't do this, but of course they put your picture in there, and then they give you some room to write. Football team 10 through 12, all that dorky stuff. And you'd write little messages in there. Good luck to everybody. This buddy of mine, he has the one-night stand, and then a week later it's time to fill out the senior summer, and he put her name in there.
Oh, no.
Because he assumed they'd be together forever. It's just hilarious. It always worked out that way.
Anytime he revisits that, he has to see. Or her. Did she go to the same school?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I still bust his balls about that. I bust his balls about that. Is that the right way to say it? Yes. Yeah. Anytime I see him, say, hey, how's Missy? Who? Oh, well, you put her name in the senior. It can happen, man. Some folks, oh boy, it's fast.
If your kid sells your vehicles, let's say he's addicted to gambling, that's too bad, but that you can kind of understand. People get in that, or drugs or something like that, and you're very concerned, you're mad, but this is so stupid and so easy not to do.
Yeah.
If you're addicted to something, that's tough.
Right.
That's a struggle, getting off drugs or gambling, things like that.
This guy just blew through what I imagine was a pretty good pile of money, because he just bingo, he's in love.
I think I'd have to pull my son aside and say, I wouldn't approve of this type of thing, but prostitutes have to be cheaper, son.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Just go to a seedy massage joint, something like that.
You don't need to get him flowers after.
That's good stuff. Oh, one more note on this high school buddy of mine, who I love dearly. I really do. He's one of the greatest friends I've ever had. He just has this weakness. Again, this is back to high school. This dude, this pal of mine, was like the ultimate party animal. And just a big, ugly bastard, you know what I mean? He could bench press like 500 pounds. He'd beat the living hell out of 5 guys at a kegger. He'd drink 2 cases of beer himself. He was a guy that would bite the beer cans open. He's just an animal. But this little lady that he had, she could turn that on a dime. One day, he and I stopped by her workplace, and it was my buddy's birthday. We stopped by his girlfriend's workplace, and she got him a bouquet of balloons. This is a 17-year-old guy.
Yeah.
What would most guys do? Oh,
thanks.
Hey, thanks. And then as soon as you get out of her what's the word I'm looking for? Peripheral vision, you let them fly.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Or you
suck out the helium.
Right.
Oh,
whatever.
you do that move. Yep.
This dude straight up skipped to the car carrying that bouquet of balloons.
That's a nice gesture.
The same guy who, performed an upper decker at the house party 3 days prior and beat up 5 guys. And when she handed him that bouquet of balloons, he literally skipped out of the joint with them in his hand.
The worst I can think from a friend is there was a woman that he was into, and she was from out of the country. She moved here. I don't know if she ever got her citizenship or not. He knew her before I had met him for many years. They'd never had a relationship, but he really wanted to. So he was waiting for years. He ended up, he bought her a car. He bought her a used vehicle. So she might, because she had trouble like with credit and stuff.
Sure.
And then he co-signed on a house for her. And then a few years later, she moved back home out of the country. So he was stuck with this car and part of a house that he wanted nothing to do with.
Son of a bitch.
And they were never together? Like, were they in a relationship?
No, never.
He was just, that was his way of courting her.
Yes, just like this guy with the flowers, hoping it leads to something. I mean, these are some big swings he's taken, and it never connected.
Yeah. That is a big friend zone.
Oh, yeah. Massive. Well, and then
I
turns
thought
out
I
she's
had it bad.
She's a massive user.
Yeah.
By that I mean using
Taking
people.
advantage.
Yeah, taking advantage.
Well, damn, now this will be a hell of a deal right here. Some poor gal in, how do you call it, Peru. She was banging down a bag of pork rinds, which I've never tried.
I haven't either.
Tell me about, who can tell us anything about pork rinds?
No, I've never tried them.
Aren't they kind of like Funyuny? Pork rinds?
So none of us have ever tried them?
No, not at all.
Fair enough. I don't know.
I thought they looked like that, or those like big, what are those called? Cheeto Puffs?
Yeah,
type
they
looking
almost
thing?
look like Cheetos Puffs. Yeah, that's a good description.
Cheetos Puffs. Yeah, I've never tried a bag of pork rinds. Here's this gal just windmilling a bag of pork rinds. And I'll be damned, in the process, she swallowed a nail.
Oh.
And she needed to get run down to the local emergency room for surgery. There was a nail in her bag of pork rinds, Dode. This unlucky lady, she's 68 years old. Celia is her name. She was pounding rinds. She felt something sharp stab her throat. And then she started up with the blood vomiting, Josh.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
After being taken to an emergency room, doctors found that the nail had stabbed its way through one of her carotid arteries in her neck. And if and you don't know, those damn things help supply oxygen and blood to your brains. The nail had stabbed its way through one. It says here that a careful dissection was done to safely remove the nail from her neck. It was a risky deal. By God, it was. She about died. She's doing fine now. But, you know, these things happen. We could go through these stories all day. Not only, you know, our own, but listeners, I'm sure, could text in. I mean, here's just a couple examples. A few years ago, some effing dude was eating a fast food burger and he accidentally ate a fingernail that was in there. And he talked to the television news about it. He said, it was crunchy, man.
Oh, yuck.
I threw up 3 times, bro, he said. Somebody's fingernail was in there.
Yeah, I've got a pretty tough stomach, but I might barf if I ate somebody's fingernail.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Does anybody else ever consider when they're eating beef jerky that you're going so fast you might accidentally eat that little gel packet they put in there?
Come close.
Been close.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I probably have.
I usually get rid of it pretty quick for that reason, that I know I'll eat it.
So then you can just pound the entire bag without worry.
Back to regular nails now. We went regular nails, then we went fingernails. Now we're back to regular nails, you know, like so for fastening things. A while back, some poor bastard chipped his tooth on a nail that was in his fast food burrito.
You know, you've heard stories about people eating bugs or something like that from a restaurant, or mouse parts. Remember there was somebody that cut off the tip of their finger and somebody ate it in a salad?
Oh, yeah. God, that was a legendary one from a while back.
Yeah.
That's great.
How do you get a nail in a burrito?
What kind of nail are we talking about now?
Like the
fastening nail.
Yeah, fastening nail.
I have no idea.
You think you would see that when you're assembling the burrito?
I have no, I mean, not if it's, you know, they scoop a big scoop of beans or rice, or if there's a nail in there, you're not, especially when you're in a hurry, you're fast food, that type of a thing. I've been real lucky. I mean, sure, a few hairs and this and that. I haven't had that moment yet.
Yeah, I haven't either, thankfully.
But it's coming. Band-Aids.
Oh.
That was one of my favorites when we read about Band-Aids being found in a
Yuck.
sandwich. A Band-Aid sandwich.
Yuck.
What? What's the problem?
A Band-Aid?
It's not a big deal.
Blood, all the other germs on there.
Yeah, you don't like blood, right?
No, I do not.
Don't you get kind of woozy when you see it?
Yep.
You get woozy. I'll tell you, you do.
But I can watch, like, Extreme Rules wrestling matches. I don't get it.
Yeah, that is kind of bizarre.
Oh, wow. Listen to this. Drew Sater Jesus. He said his mother would chew her toenails off.
Oh.
Oh. And he said one day I got her to chew mine off as well. She was gross, he says.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like it. Very flexible, too.
Good point.
Rocks in a burger. Someone had rocks in their burger. Something tells me that burger got dropped in the parking lot before.
Something got dropped on the floor.
Just give it a quick brush off.
I'm not getting great reviews here on the text message from our listening audience. I'm not getting great reviews on pork rinds.
Oh, I've seen some very good ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My side is saying, save it. Don't bother. I'm going to have to try it because, I mean, I love chips. Potato chips, Dorito, whatever the hell you pass.
Well, this is actually fried pig skin.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't come in a bag of chips?
I mean, it's a bag, but pork rinds are skin of a pig that's fried.
Oh, okay. But they do put them in a bag and have them at the grocery store, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I love whipping down that kind of anything, any kind of chip thing.
Anything in bag form.
Yeah, I guess.
Just got to be in a bag. My standards are low.
Drew Sater, Jesus, he checked back in. It was not his mom. It was his kid's mom, his baby mama, is the one that would bite her own toenails.
Oh, did I read that incorrectly?
Yeah.
I read it incorrectly. His baby mama would...
she's the one.
Bite her own toenails off, and she even bit his toenails off once.
That's less creepy to me for some reason.
It is less creepy.
Yeah, your mom's not biting your toes.
Yeah.
Still creepy, but yeah, you're right, less creepy.
All right, one more here real quick because we got to get going again. Another day, another teacher has lost their job because they got their gear out on effing OnlyFans. So I guess if you're keeping score, here's the latest. A 50-year-old high school teacher, she upped and resigned when her OnlyFans account was discovered by the folks who run the school district. If you want to look her up, it's the only reason why we cover these anymore, just in case you want to look up and masturbate. Jennifer Rosiska worked at a school in Ohio for nearly 30 years. She's 50. But then the school officials learned about her quote, pornographic/sexually graphic website. And that violated her teaching licenses, conduct, and technology policies. If you want to look her up, it sounds like she's under the name of Jennifer's Secrets. All one word, Jennifer's Secrets. She was also the cheerleading coach and a yearbook advisor. But that's all gone now. Because she got the gear out.
Well, I'd imagine it's not a surprise. And if she says it is, she's lying. I mean, there's a news story like this every couple of weeks.
Every 6 hours almost,
it
seems like.
Very publicized stories.
Says here she was making $74,000.
Dude.
What the hell?
Just on OnlyFans?
No, as a teacher, for Christ's sake.
Dang.
OnlyFans, she's already got like $30 million.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
They always have $35 million within an hour and a half.
Oh, wait, she just got $2 billion.
Whoa, that's fast.
$74,000.
Dang.
I thought those folks were all, getting their asses kicked. Teachers. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, ain't bad.
Huh? All right, we'll take a break.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, April Fool's Day is here again. A day where you can make your co-workers look like idiots with signs on their backs that say, "Kick me, I like it," or a fart machine that goes off whenever they walk past. It's a day where you can make people panic by telling them their car just got towed or that their job is being outsourced. Yeah, lots of fun. But maybe we should rename it. Instead of April Fool's Day, let's call it April Fool's Day. We all hate you.
I hear you. April Fool's Day. Some of yous go buck wild. Most of us don't really give two pumps. But have fun if you're dialing into something special. Hey, we've gotten quite a few text messages on pork rinds. Pork rinds made its way into our stupid news report, and none of the four of us have ever tried them. Never saw it. And we are asking our listeners what the hell's going on with those pork rinds. Do you like them, hate them? Here's a few text messages. One listener says, head into your local dollar store, get yourself the salt and pepper pork rinds, wash them down with 2-3 beers, and thank me later.
Doesn't sound bad, actually.
That's from Bang Bang, Jesus. I like beer and snacks. That does sound like a decent combo. But some folks are saying it's gross because you're eating skin.
Yeah, I guess when you kind of lay it out like that, it does seem a little less appealing.
Dried skin in a bag.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but do you guys like skin on chicken? And
yeah, I do.
Okay. Now that I'm going the other way back again now, Josh.
But to me, there's a big difference. I'll try them. Don't get me wrong, I will. Pork rinds. But there's a big difference between pulling chicken skin off a hot piece of chicken in front of you for dinner time and a bag full of dried skin that's been hanging on a shelf for 3-4 months.
Yeah, but if somebody's just arguing they're eating skin, I mean, you're still eating skin. I mean, haven't you ever had dandruff and ate that or anything like that?
No.
Have you ever had eczema and just licked your arm?
That's the best.
I got eczema.
What a treat.
Poops for an hour, Jesus says, gross, you're eating skin. Another listener says, yeah, they're kind of like Funyuns, but without the flavor. They're like eating styrofoam. I'll give them a shot. I will. And it's fun. It's fun to, experience new things. And I'm going to take a crack at pork rinds. I'll get back to each and every one of you. All right, here's the deal with the sports. The Twins got pumped yesterday in Kansas City. My God. 11-0. It's going to happen.
Did you guys watch Rocco after the game talking?
No.
He seemed pretty defeated.
Was he bummed?
Yeah, he seemed a little bummed, maybe a little annoyed.
I just want to give the guy a hug.
You still won 2 or 3 to start the season, but that game was ugly. It was over before it started. The Wolves got beat last night at home by the Chicago Bulls. Bulls beat them by 8. We know who's going to be playing in the Final Four and the Frozen Four. We'll get into that with Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder when they join us in about a half an hour. Plenty of things to talk about. Stay tuned for Josh's news report.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
The countdown is on for the 2024 NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light, live from Detroit, and you can attend in person for free.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
See the next NFL stars and experience the ultimate NFL fan festival, featuring live concerts, interactive games, player autographs, and more. The NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light, April 25th through 27th. Visit NFL.com/draft access to register for free entry today.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
It was scary enough when it happened on the other side of Burnsville. My heart just breaks for the whole department and all the departments in the area.
A woman is in custody after 2 officers were injured following an 8-hour standoff in Burnsville Saturday night. Around 8:30 p.m., police were called on a report of shots fired inside a mobile home.
I mean, it was scary enough when it...
She looked very out of it, so I kind of came back and tried to see if she was okay. And that's when we kind of heard a pop sound. They took precautions. They evacuated everyone. I feel like they did an amazing job.
Officers thought the woman was firing shots, was still inside the residence due to a threat to public safety, so they issued a shelter-in-place order. They also evacuated a few of the nearby homes. Police tried to contact and negotiate with the woman overnight, and about 4:30 a.m. yesterday, she was taken into custody via canine apprehension. 2 officers had minor injuries.
Well, what the hell's the problem?
Yeah, I don't know. They haven't really said what exactly happened. Also in Burnsville, a teenage girl sleeping in her bed was wounded when a shot fired from a neighboring apartment went through the wall of her bedroom. Shortly before 4 a.m. Saturday, police responded to a call about the shooting that grazed the arm of a 17-year-old girl. She was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and a man was arrested on suspicion of firing that weapon. And unfortunately, some residents in Woodbury had to evacuate due to a standoff early this morning. At last check, that suspect remains barricaded in the home.
Good Lord.
Yeah, hopefully everyone can stay safe there and
here we
resolve
have to
that
go.
soon.
Yeah.
Some people don't like being woken up, and some people, like the 43-year-old Tennessee man in this story, really don't like being woken up. Last month, a woman said she and her boyfriend went to sleep mad at each other. She stated she woke up and started looking for her phone and turned on the lights. That woke up her boyfriend, and that angered him. She said he began yelling at her for waking him up. She told him she believed he had taken her phone and hid it from her. And to drive home how upset he was, he chose to punch her right in the face. He was arrested for his actions and taken to jail, where hopefully he can get some rest. Boy, I know, I have a family member, and if you wake him up, it's trouble.
Bad times?
Oh, trouble. Furious.
I know one dude like that, and when we were kids, it was a hell of a lot of fun to wake him up, just because we got to see that rage. Oh, it was a riot.
I mean, I don't think anybody likes it, but yeah, there's some people that just flip out.
Oh.
A 19-year-old North Carolina Walmart employee shot 2 people inside the store. Police said about 10 p.m. Friday, officers received reports of shots fired at the Walmart. When police arrived, they located a 19-year-old and a child who had both been shot and taken to a hospital.
We have identified him as a Walmart employee at this location. Upon entering the building, they found 2 gunshot victims. It's horrible anytime anybody gets shot, but especially a juvenile and a young juvenile.
According to investigators, officers believe it was an isolated incident and the suspect planned to shoot the man. They identified the child as an innocent bystander who was struck by a stray bullet. Thankfully, the kid's going to be okay. I'm appalled that an innocent child is in the hospital with a gunshot wound, but I'm glad she's in stable condition, a police spokesperson said. Immediately after the shooting, the teen drove away from the store, but soon abandoned the vehicle.
This was a worker at the joint?
Yeah, he was wearing the Walmart outfit and everything.
Oh, jeez.
A man from Gainesville, Florida, was shot multiple times in the chest through a Bible. The sheriff's office said 26-year-old Jason Kircher was behaving erratically last week. On Thursday, relatives took his 3-month-old baby to a Department of Children and Families case manager because of how weird he was acting earlier in the week. He took his wife and baby outside to get some air, and then moments later, the case manager heard screaming as the father was walking toward the road saying he was God while holding the baby and a Bible.
It was bad. Traffic was stopped, 18-wheelers slamming on their brakes.
A family member grabbed a shovel and tried to convince him to release the baby. He then laid down on the roadway on top of the child and a Bible before the family member was able to grab the baby and bring him to safety. Several vehicles, including a work crew, stopped on the road to avoid hitting him. The crew attempted to hold him down, and the family member dropped the shovel, but the man broke free and grabbed it. He then jumped on top of a vehicle and began hitting and cracking the windshield. He approached a man in a truck, opened the door, and began beating the man with the shovel, breaking his arm. The shovel then broke, and he discarded it. Another person grabbed it and hit the man. The driver was then able to grab his gun to defend himself. As the suspect approached him, holding the Bible, the driver fired multiple times, striking him in the Bible and then the chest. The sheriff's office is investigating that incident. Charges are expected for the man when he's released from the hospital. As for the driver who fired his gun in self-defense, no charges are expected.
That's about the creepiest damn thing I've heard all week.
Yeah, he said he was God, and the Bible, they believe, saved his life, as it has saved many, metaphorically.
He's carrying a baby out to the middle of the road.
Yep, lays on top of it, right in the street there.
Ooh-wee.
A Florida woman has begun serving a prison sentence for a naked rampage at a convenience store earlier this year. That included a masturbation session conducted in front of police.
God dang.
You may remember this story.
No.
35-year-old Celia Barrett pleaded guilty last month to a variety of criminal charges stemming from her unclosed antics at a racetrack convenience store. Police say a drunken Barrett threatened workers at the store in St. Petersburg with a sharp-edged vegetable peeler and then destroyed merchandise. Then, prior to being taken into custody, she was courteous enough to begin masturbating in front of deputies.
That was nice of her.
While still inside the store. She was sentenced to 15 months in state prison.
Oh, wow.
Hey, you guys came all the way out here. I'll put on a show.
Grab a hot dog, sit down, stay a while. It'll be fun.
It's incredible, some of the things that you say.
An Oregon man narrowly escaped death when a runaway saw blade whipped through a parking lot and lodged into a building.
I was walking into the store here. I heard a loud bang, and I see a 4-foot blade hurling at me as I'm walking through the doorway. Thinking maybe it's my time, but I don't think I would have survived being touched by that thing.
No, hell no.
The video's insane. I don't know if Ashley's homesick today. I don't know if she's posting stuff or not.
She ain't doing jack squat.
No, she didn't put it up there? Okay, yeah, I sent it to her. Maybe
I'll throw it up.
Thanks, Wapple.
That video really is incredible.
Dude, that thing is cooking.
And it's huge.
Can we keep an eye on our saw blades, please? That's unbelievable how fast this thing comes ripping through the parking lot. It would have killed 3 people before it was done.
I think that's rule number 1. Always watch your saw blade.
Keep an eye on it.
This thing was made to cut concrete, wasn't it, Cubby?
Yeah, it was a concrete blade.
Woo!
I almost cut my leg off with one of those. Yeah, it can do some damage. The man was captured on video entering Quick Trip's neighborhood market in Eugene Thursday when, like a scene out of a Final Destination movie, a blade from a concrete saw broke loose from a nearby construction site. Surveillance video shows the man casually walking into the store. Then just seconds later, the nearly 4-foot blade slipped through the parking lot cars, skid across the pavement, and slammed into the exterior wall of the shop just inches from the door. Employees said the impact was so powerful it shook the building.
All I heard was like a metal rolling down from the street, and all of a sudden we heard a loud bang, like it shook literally the whole store.
The gas company said in a statement it was glad nobody was injured in the bizarre incident.
I mean, obviously it wasn't my time, but it's probably the closest I've ever experienced it.
Contractor said a bolt may have come loose or there may have been an operator error as they were fixing a leaky gas valve.
Can you imagine the look on the face of the sumbitch who was running that concrete saw when that thing cuts loose and goes ripping through town? He must have thought, son of a bitch, I'm going to jail for murder. Barry Sanders wouldn't have been able to get out of the way of that damn thing. You know what I mean?
A shoplifter was detained outside a New Mexico Walgreens last month after trying to outrun a horse-mounted police officer.
Did he steal something? Come on. Hey, stop! You're being detained! Albuquerque police! Stop!
I'd imagine, well, then obviously this one's not going to be up on our website either. Wapple, do you mind? Sorry to overwork you there.
All good.
Albuquerque police body cam video shows a dark brown horse trotting through a parking lot behind a man in black clothing. The horse catches up to him within seconds. It was a very short chase. "It wasn't me," the man yells as he leads the horse and police officer into the street, stopping traffic.
Albuquerque police, stop! What does he mean? You need to stop or force will be used against you. Get on the ground!
The man then finds himself surrounded when 2 more police officers on horses arrive at the scene. What is this, 1852? He continues to deny any wrongdoing, even using a bad word to emphasize his claim.
You are being detained for suspected shoplifting.
One of the officers dismounts from the horse and handcuffs the man who's been charged with stealing merchandise from that Walgreens.
That's all they had was the horseback cops around, huh?
Yeah, they had a few of them there.
What did he curse? What did he say? F
He
you?
didn't do S.
I didn't do okay.
A police pursuit of a stolen vehicle through Hollywood Thursday night came to an abrupt end as the electric vehicle, a Tesla, ran out of battery in the middle of the road. And it turns out the vehicle belonged to a reporter from the news station covering that chase.
So now the twist. That car belonged to our very own Susan Hirasuna. She joins us now with more. Susan, how are you doing?
I had a very sleepless night, and then I spent the day kind of dealing with police and my insurance company and where's the car. Like, for a time, I didn't know where the car was.
And in Florida, a woman was caught on a doorbell camera at 5:47 a.m. yesterday, stealing Easter eggs off a homeowner's porch. The sheriff's office said they're investigating after they actually received numerous reports of items stolen from porches in the area. Stay off your phone and your significant other while driving, state officials say. They're warning distracted drivers will be the target of a law enforcement campaign during the month of April.
So in Minnesota, it's a hands-free law, so you cannot touch your phone at all or even hold it while you're driving. But you still can use your phone. It's a one-touch activation, or you can use the voice commands to use your phone while you're driving.
Between 2019 and 2023, distracted driving in Minnesota was a contributing factor in nearly 30,000 crashes, DPS said. Oof. It also contributed to some 29 deaths and 146, as they called them, life-changing injuries annually during that same time period.
We know it's a major contributing factor in fatal crashes, so we need people just to drive smart and make sure they're aware of what they're doing while they're driving.
Drivers who injure or kill someone while violating the hands-free law can face criminal vehicular operation or homicide charges.
Well, yeah, but, cops can use all their stuff while they're driving. Why can't I?
Yeah, they can use their computer.
Yeah, they got a computer right there.
Good point. Keep an eye out for pranksters today, as it is April Fool's Day. So here are some of the more famous April Fool's Day jokes over the years. 1957, the BBC announced that because of a mild winter in Switzerland, spaghetti trees were producing more spaghetti than normal. People fell for it and started calling in asking how to grow their own spaghetti tree. 1985, Sports Illustrated claimed a rookie pitcher for the Mets named Sid Finch could throw 168 miles an hour and trained at a monastery in Tibet. Mets fans went nuts. The magazine was flooded with requests for more information on a guy who didn't exist. In 1994, PC Magazine ran a column that a new bill would make it illegal to use the internet while drunk. In a cruel April Fool's prank from 2000, a Romanian newspaper announced dozens of prisoners would be released from prison. Their families showed up to take them home.
Good Lord.
Only to discover it was a bad joke. Can you imagine? In a 2010 Ben & Jerry's ad, they announced the world's first virtual ice cream. They claimed you could test the flavor of the ice cream by licking your computer screen, something Dana does while scrolling through Anna Kendrick's Instagram stories.
That is correct.
You are a fan. Just for Nick, there's a special preview on the CW tonight of the F-Boy Island spin-off Lovers and Liars.
Boy, I haven't thought about that program since we first talked about it a few months ago. F-Boy Island is still on the air. And they're doing what tonight?
They're having a spin-off.
A spin-off?
So I don't know if F-Boy Island is still around, but there's a spin-off called Lovers and Liars.
F-Boy Loves Chachi.
And they're gonna let you watch that spin-off
God,
tonight.
I feel like a prick. I never got around to trying, and even though I got so excited about it when we first talked about it, more or less, I guess, it wasn't so much about the show. It's just that I wanted to become an F-boy.
Yeah.
And it never happened. At least I don't think it happened. You guys have to tell me if I ever become an F-boy.
At least not on the show. Maybe just in real life. Maybe it was based on you. Who knows?
Well, no, that's what, I wanted to become an F-boy in real life. Yeah, not on the television show. Well, that's exciting that they're still going so much so that they have a spinoff, Josh.
Twin City Takeover tickets are 20% off today only with the code FOOLIN'. The 93X Twin City Takeover stars Stained with I Prevail, Asking Alexandria, and Dayseeker May 4th at XL Energy Center. And again, they're 20% off the rest of the day with the code FOOLIN'. Sponsored by Dennis Kirk, the motorcycle hard parts king. When this man was 24 2 decades ago, he became the youngest WWE champ in history. Randy Orton, 44 today. My wife has quite the crush on Mr. Orton.
He's a good-looking man.
He is.
Is he still doing his thing on WWE?
Boy, I don't know.
I believe he is.
Been so long since I watched, I don't even know what the hell's going on with the Apex Predator.
Congratulations to Oddball Jesus on his engagement over the weekend. Best of luck to Camo Fisherman Jesus. He has a colonoscopy at 10:45 this morning. Good luck to Baggin' Bodies Jesus. Got a fitness assessment and board interview for the State Patrol this coming Wednesday. Hope that goes well. Happy birthday to Jake from your cousin Joe the Plumber. And happy birthday to Jake. I don't know if this is the same Jake or not. From your brother Electrical Jesus. Happy birthday to Dry-Aged Ribeye Jesus from your work buddy Big Mig Welder Jesus. And happy birthday to Over the Hill BMXer Moses, turning 56. And this text says, still folding more than an origami specialist. From column jockey Messiah. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
The cornhole capital of the world.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I mean, we get fined for anything, but what we need to get fined for. I had a knee injury a couple of years ago. I had the same play miss a month because someone ran into my knee. I hope they look at this, because if they don't hold people accountable, I'm going to hold them accountable myself.
Rudy Gobert pretty much promising to kick the next guy's ass that dives into his knees.
That's fun.
I like how angry Rudy Gobert can be. I do. I like his overall approach to things. He's kind of a dick, and I dig that. We're going to get into the Timberwolves here in a short period of time. But here we go. We haven't been pranked yet on April Fool's Day. Maybe these two clowns have something planned for us. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What do you think? You got anything cute?
Nope.
No?
No.
I'm not a big April Fool's guy either. I don't know.
Nope.
No, not my thing.
You know who was Bud Grant.
He was.
Bud Grant was a monster April Fool's guy.
Did he ever get you?
Never got me, but played so many pranks on people at Winter Park when he was the head coach. Just story after story of, I remember back in the day when people would open a desk drawer and there'd be a fake mouse in there, or there'd be, all sorts of different things that Bud loved this day.
He and Bert Blyleven, right?
Yeah, well, Bert's year-round, though.
I was going to say every day is April Fool's Day for Bert.
Yeah, Bert's year-round. So
I love a good bit. I love a good prank. It's just sometimes it can be a lot of work.
It can be.
Can be a lot of work. I'm trying to think of some of the best I've ever heard. Well, one that I really liked, my old man told me this story many years ago. Being an over-the-road truck driver his whole life, he said the terminals were just madness. You get a big trucking terminal filled with dudes, a lot of them lacking sleep, work their balls off. They like to cut loose now and again.
Probably in shower in a while.
They like to play some pranks on each other, and one that he told me that was a real riot over there was they had an old flatbed trailer in the terminal that hadn't been used in years, and someone cut a hole in the bottom of the damn thing and then stuck their head up through the hole, right? They're underneath the flatbed, stuck their head up, then put a box over the top of the head, right? And then directed the new guy, hey, Donnie, go grab that box real. I don't even know what it's doing up on that flatbed. That thing hasn't moved in 10 years. Donnie, go fetch that box. And then when the guy picks the box up, this head goes, wah! And sends the guy through the roof. I thought that was a good one. That's good.
Yeah.
Step one is to cut a hole in the flatbed, Cubby.
What's step two? Actually, I don't even want to know.
How was your weekend, Randy and Brad? You had a glorious Easter Sunday?
Yeah, it was good.
Yep, it was good. Went to church, spent some time with family here, and then I drove out and saw my dad out in Wilmer, and did that, and so it was kind of a full day, but it was fun.
You went and visited your dad, huh?
Yeah, last night.
I'll be damned.
Went and had dinner with him.
Where's he at nowadays? How old is he now?
He's 84, and he's doing okay. He's got good days and bad days. He obviously misses my mom yet, but he's doing okay.
When's the last time he kicked your ass?
Oh God, last night? No. He used to do it on a regular basis, but no. He's calmed down quite a bit in his older years.
Well, that's good. Now
he sounds a lot like your dad in that way.
Yeah,
mellowed out after a while.
Not mellowed out, but I mean when
really
when we were young
at this point.
Well, yeah, when he was when they were younger, they were tough on you.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know.
Well, no, Cubby had the tough guy old man. Mine was actually kind of laid back for the most part. Cubby had the one who would whoop your ass.
Yeah, my dad would definitely do that. I'm still scared of him, and he's been dead 11 years. If I do something I regret, I'll look around like, oh, God, he didn't hear about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if I get my mom too frustrated, please don't tell Dad. That kind of thing. That was the worst when my mom would say, would you like me to call your father and have him come home from work? If he came home from work, that was big trouble.
Dude.
You went out to Wilmer, Brad?
Yeah, I'm actually at my cabin right now because we got the day off from school. So
here's somebody who might know the neighborhood. They want to know if they tore down Mel's truck stop yet. A listener just texted in.
I don't know. That's a little bit north of Wilmer. I'm not sure if they did or not.
He don't know. I'll
Don't
text
know.
you. If you're not listening, I'll text this guy back. Brad doesn't know about Mel's truck stop.
I know about it. I'm not sure if it's there anymore.
Yeah, he don't know.
Go check it out and report back tomorrow.
Sure.
Now, each of us must have filled out a bracket or two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Did any of us have any of our Final Four predictions come true? For me personally, not a one.
I don't think so.
Gosh, I don't think so
either.
I'll have to actually
Mine
look.
mine got busted pretty quickly, and I kind of stopped keeping track.
I may have had UConn in one, but
I've got UConn.
Yeah,
I
did too.
Well, there you go. I had them losing to Illinois. Here we go. Here's your Final Four. It all got settled over the weekend. On one side of the deal, there's Connecticut. who pretty much, like we talked about last week, just keeps curb stomping fools into submission. Connecticut will play Alabama, who came out of, where the hell what kind of seeding was Alabama given? They were a 4.
Yeah, 4, yeah.
All right, so the big effing surprise, of course, North Carolina State. What a great story they are.
I love it.
And
I've got North Carolina State.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, F me. You're doing great.
Wow.
You had North Carolina stinking State.
I did.
At an 11 seed, and they'll face friggin' Purdue.
And that's the other one I had.
Well, Cubby, you win.
Yeah, I looked up the standings in our bracket that we've all filled out along with Janelle Klein. Josh has 880 points and is clear far and away the winner. And number 2 is Wapple, 730 points. So, Josh, you absolutely dominated.
Finally, the real basketball knowledge fella on the show
So
wins it all.
You got 3 out of 4.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well,
I got 2 out of 4.
Double balls. That's really something to predict NC State.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Because, I know they had that terrific run in their conference tournament, but I thought the general idea, the general belief amongst a lot of people was, well, they burned themselves out in that conference tournament. Expect an early.
Right.
You know, there's always that line of thinking that you pretty much blew your wad. You know, expect a letdown from North Carolina State. They just kept cooking, and they got to beat one of their biggest rivals to get to what a thrill.
I got some family in North Carolina, and they're a huge NC State family. And obviously, they're always playing second, third, fourth fiddle to all the other, the UNCs, the Dukes, the Wake Forest. So that was very special. I called my aunt yesterday after the game, and they were just over the moon happy.
Wolfpack.
They were saying that one of the best coaching jobs so far in the tournament was actually done after the ACC tournament was over, and that coach at NC State got his team to just calm down after playing 5 days in a row and winning 5 in a row, to calm down to get through the first part of the bracket, just because they were on such an emotional high to make the tournament through that 5-day tournament. Just to get them through that and get them on their way was one of the better coaching jobs done in the country.
It's amazing how many things have to go your way to go on a run like this, too, because I think it was in the conference, maybe even quarterfinals. They played Virginia, and I think they needed a miracle 3 to send the game into overtime, I think, if I remember right. And if they don't make that shot, they're done. They don't make the tournament at all.
Right.
That's great that they got their 11 seed. They get to play Purdue. Hopefully somehow they can slow down that monster.
Good luck.
What the hell's his name again?
Zach Edey.
What do you have, 40
amazing.
yesterday?
Oh, that's old-time basketball when you watch them play that way, where they just throw the ball inside. And they just let Edey just do his thing.
Well, you can play old-time basketball when you got a guy that's 7'5".
Well, sure, but not everybody does that anymore, Nick. They just don't do that.
Well, what was your mentality in this game? They thought they knew us, man. They thought they knew what we had in our hearts. I promise you they didn't. We're winners. That's what we do.
Said the F word there. That was Zach.
Zach Edey?
Yeah.
Don't be cussing at us, dude. I'm just not a Purdue guy. So that'll be the matchup. North Carolina State and Purdue. I know Edey is something to see. But you know who I fell in love with, like a lot of people in this tournament? DJ Burns for North Carolina State. You guys know, is that
big guy?
Is that guy for real or what?
I think it's awesome.
Isn't it great to see a big dude like that succeed?
He's very good.
He is not built like a basketball player. Not even effing close. But yet he goes out, scores 29 points yesterday. That guy's fun to watch. Great story out of North Carolina State, too. From the college there, from the campus, I should say. A university professor adjusted his class schedule so everyone could party and not worry about today. And it was all because of an electronic mail he got from a student. The teacher goes by the name of Matthew Bryant. He is an associate professor in the school's mechanical and aerospace engineering program. So, the dum-dum class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the slack class.
Those kids were lined up for a test today. but a student reached out via email to ask for an extension. The kid wrote exactly this. Yo, Dr. Bryant, I'm lit, and I hope you are too.
That's a great way to start it.
A Final Four appearance is a lot to celebrate. How about we move this test to Tuesday or Wednesday? And that's great. And not long after that, the teacher sent his response. This is possibly my favorite email of the year. You've convinced me.
That's awesome.
And they pushed this aerospace test off to a later date.
But did the professor confirm that he was lit?
He did not. He did not.
I hope he was.
I'm lit, and I hope you are too. Good for that dude. Well, that ought to be something. It'll start up Saturday afternoon. And that's Josh, you murdered everybody in our bracket contest. Good for you, too.
Oh, thank you.
It's not even close.
I thought, well, you sent, earlier on, you sent one, and I thought Shaver had the clear lead.
Shaver had the clear lead after day one, I believe.
Oh, it was that? Okay.
And then Josh quickly caught up and obviously surpassed him.
Day one didn't mean dick. Not when Josh Valvano over there is getting tuned up.
Well, can you count it if you just read like 10 articles and picked and choose between whichever arguments made the most sense?
Wow, you've read 10 articles?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I thought that's what you're supposed to do on these things.
Oh, so you really did research some things?
Oh, a ton.
Oh, I hear you.
Remember when I was complaining? I'm like, I don't want to do all this work for this thing. And so, yeah, I just
well, I mean, either
read a bunch of articles.
Either way, you whooped everybody's ass.
Well,
you should have just went with the fact that you knew all this stuff about.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to trick anyone there, but
you know, McNeese State let me down right from the get-go. So, so someone explain this to me. The Simpsons predicted. What did the Simpsons do? I can't understand this.
I don't know. I don't
know.
know.
They predicted that on March 31st, which was yesterday, that the two teams would play. Then they did.
What
UConn and
Duke and NC State.
Duke and NC State. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That they would play on March 31st.
In an episode from many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
In an episode from 2015, so 9 years ago, there was a scene where Homer is wearing a Duke shirt and holding an NC State pennant in his hand, and this and that. And a date flashes at the bottom of the screen that says March 31st.
Mm-hmm.
So that's people's version of The Simpsons predicting this game from yesterday.
The game would happen yesterday.
I don't know if I...
There's got to be a whole committee of people that find all this stuff out. It seems like there's so many events where they say, The Simpsons predicted this, The Simpsons predicted that.
I don't know how you predict that.
I don't get it. I don't really get it, but that's what some folks are talking about. All right. Oh, and speaking of Josh Valvano, his distant uncle Jim Valvano, who used to coach North Carolina State back in the 80s, this is their first trip to the Final Four since Jimmy V took them there in 83 and won the whole schmear.
Mm-hmm.
Were they a 12 seed that year?
Gosh, I don't remember. I know they were not super underdog.
I think it was a double digit.
You think it was double digits, Brad?
I do.
Yeah, I want to say it was 12. But I remember that very well because I was a 12-year-old kid and I just loved the Final Four and the entire college basketball tournament. And I kind of just hitched my wagon to North Carolina State that year just for no reason other than I'm a 12-year-old. And it was just such a riot. I mean, one of the most dramatic endings in Final Four championship game history with
Charles.
Lorenzo Charles, Sidney Lowe, and who the hell was the guy that launched Derek Whittingham?
Derek Wittenberg. And somebody just texted me about it and said it was a 6. They were a 6.
Yeah, they were 6.
6? Oh, I thought it was much.
So I think it was just because Houston was such an overwhelming favorite that year.
Well,
that's why. That was why.
Slamma-jamma.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved them too. Akeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler, Benny. What the hell was his name? Benny.
And the Jets.
Hill.
Starts with an A. I know who you're talking
Anders.
about. Yeah.
Benny Anders. Maybe what I'm thinking was it 85 Villanova. What was Villanova's seeding in 85 when they won it all with Raleigh Massimina?
Eddie Pinkney.
Ed Pinkney was on that team. They had a set of brothers on that team. What was
McLean?
The McLean, bro. God, this is fun. I love this stuff. What was Villanova's seating?
I remember talking to Eddie Pinkney about that game quite a few times. He was an assistant coach under Rick Adelman with the Wolves.
Where they beat Georgetown,
yep,
who was heavily favored.
Looks like they were an 8.
What? Well, who's this double-digit thing in my head? I don't know. That's the liquor. Maybe it's a liquor talking. The lowest seen, someone's texting in here now.
Yeah, it looks like an 8 seed is the lowest seed to win a national championship.
I thought there was like I said, liquor talking. You want to see some great stuff.
11 is the lowest seed to make a Final Four.
It's happened a few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to see some great video, go back to 85 when Villanova clinches that win over Georgetown. The hugs that Raleigh Massimino, Villanova's head coach, was dishing out was some of the most beautiful stuff you'll ever see. He can't believe it. I mean,
he was jumping all over the court. He's just a little guy, too.
And he was no kid, for Christ's sake. He was an old man.
Right.
What do you got over there, Wapo? I see you gesturing.
It's an off-air thing.
It's an off-air thing. Sorry, I thought you were needing to be set up for something. All right, Mankato State are throwing a welcome home celebration for their college basketball teams today.
That's awesome.
They are the kings and queens of Division II basketball.
The first Division II program in over 40 years to win both the men's and women's championships in the same weekend. In the same season. It happened over the weekend.
Pretty impressive.
The women won the D2 title over someone called St. Joseph, Missouri. The men beat Nova Southeastern, a school from Indiana. And it was a dramatic last-second shot kind of a thing. So both the men's and women's D2 basketball programs there at Mankato won the whole stinking thing. And today they're going to have an open to the public party starting at 4 o'clock. Anybody can show up. Just a coincidence, the men's hockey team will be there as well, simultaneously celebrating their 15th high school reunion. Tonight, people are saying this is the rematch that everyone's been waiting for in ladies college basketball in their NCAA tournament.
Yes, it's Iowa, LSU.
It's going to be a fun one.
LSU, this is a rematch of last year's championship game. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yep.
That game's going to get some huge numbers.
Yes.
But this is not even the Final Four yet. This is the Elite Eight round.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think it's the division, it's the regional final, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The regional final. So Caitlin Clark against Angel Reese, who kind of scrapped a little bit in last year's championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that a deal where, Caitlin Clark, last year she was doing the "you can't see me" thing?
Right.
Yep.
Yes, there was a big controversy.
I remember people were upset by that.
And then when Angel Reese and LSU beat Caitlin Clark, Reese did it back to her?
Yes.
Yes, that's
And she
correct.
showed her ring finger. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Everyone wet their pants over that. I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah, I loved it.
I think people made too much of that.
What the hell's the problem?
Like Nick always says, be a dick.
Yeah, be a dick. Right. Absolutely. I love that. Oh, you've been doing this cute move all year? Well, now I beat your ass. There it is, right back in your face. What do you think about that, loser? That's fun.
When people ask one about the other, they don't, go after each other either. They've got respect for each other.
Are they friends now?
Well, I don't know if they ever
I
weren't.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they're friends, but
They're both making $18 million.
On NIL.
Yeah, so what the hell? Be happy.
Seems like they both respect each other. I don't know if they're friends.
Right.
Timberwolves played a beautiful game in Denver on Friday night and got the win on the road. It's a damn shame they came home and lost to Chicago, who beat them by 8.
yeah, they could not make a shot from the outside last night.
They didn't shoot the ball terribly well.
No.
Especially when it mattered most, the Timberwolves. And the Bulls, they were great last night.
Yeah, it's a big win for them too. They're fighting for playoff spot, play-in game, actually.
Yeah, they're 9th right now in the East.
Yeah, it was a huge game for them last night.
I agree with what Jim Peterson was saying last night, and all you guys are saying, what did he say? Because I didn't watch the friggin' game.
I actually did watch the game. You'd be proud of me.
I watched a decent amount with my dad.
Then what did
wanted
Jim
to watch,
Peterson
so I
say
did.
yesterday? Dana is the kid's name.
He said they tried their best and had fun.
No, he did not. No, he didn't. I would have enjoyed that if he would have said that. He said the Chicago Bulls should have a better record than they do.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
Because they're very good.
They've got a lot of talent, and a lot of times they don't show up and try hard, is essentially what he was saying.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they've had some key injuries, too. I mean, losing Zach LaVine for the entire season didn't help them.
And what's his nuts?
They lost the forward. I can't think of his name. The kid that was pretty good for him last year.
Lonzo Ball.
No, the other guy. There's a power forward that they lost.
Well, I don't know.
Pretty decent player, but yeah, they've got a lot of talent. And I love Billy Donovan. I think he's a really good coach. Yeah, they may make some noise a little bit in the East. You never know.
Was it Patrick Williams?
Yes, Patrick Williams. Yeah, pretty decent player.
I'm surprised Josh didn't come up with that.
Well, basketball savant over here.
Because we're talking about pro basketball. He's a college basketball guy. There's always got to be the haters that come out the woodwork when you whoop the piss out of them in the bracket, right, Josh?
Yeah, I expected this.
He's got Clark Kellogg text Josh to ask Josh what he should talk about on television. Clark Kellogg does it. The dude with the round face who used to coach in Florida does it. To Andy, what's his name again? Don't worry. Huh?
Andy Katz?
Katz, yes. I thought you said Andy Cap.
I thought that too.
You were messing with. The Wolves play the Houston Rockets here in town tomorrow night. They just didn't have a sharp shooting night at all last night.
No.
And it's going to happen. Chicago's kind of got their damn number.
I wouldn't read in too much to it. They'll be fine.
No. No one's. No one's teetering over the side of a bridge here, Brad Ryder. What do you think about this text right here from OG's Jesus? Those NCAA basketball tournaments, he says, are as scripted as the banter on this radio show.
Oh, man.
All right, so Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez, they say, we're going to be the owners of the Minnesota Timberwolves. They say it's a matter of time.
They can say whatever they
Well,
want.
yeah, right.
That doesn't mean anything right now.
They're winning the PR battle in this by 1,000%, and that's what they're doing right now. But the courts will decide it. The courts will decide.
They say to Glenn Taylor, it didn't have to be this way.
Wapple like that one.
Right?
We didn't have to do it.
It's
we
so-
could have just broken up mutually.
It's so dramatic.
Yeah.
Glenn, look at me. No, look at me.
Don't look away. Look into my eyes.
It didn't have to be this way.
Again, I asked the question I did Friday. Since when did Alex Rodriguez become the Pope in this? You know? I mean...
what's your name again? I can't think of
That's
his...
Brad.
Brad, I like the guy. What's your problem with Alex Rodriguez?
The guy lied about doing steroids just like every other baseball player in his era. Who cares?
Well, beyond that, he just didn't really have a great reputation among other players. I'm just saying.
I got no problem with him. I got no problem with Glenn Taylor either. Like I said last Friday, I don't really care who owns the team. I don't.
As long as they don't leave.
As long as they don't leave.
Right, yeah.
And I think the best bet with that right now is Taylor.
Now they're going to court.
It'll be a while before that's decided, I think.
Right.
I know we're all celebrating Josh and his bracket victory, and for good reason.
Some of us are.
So now
I can send you some links.
You know what?
Some of us are, not all of us.
Josh.
Yeah.
Be a dick.
That's not my nature.
Be a dick
It's
to
a
Randy.
little overblown.
You've never been a dick to Randy.
Well, why would I be it?
Why would you be?
Josh's assumed victory is a little overblown.
I haven't said anything. I didn't say one word about it. I didn't bring it up.
He's the best. You suck. Shaver.
It's a little overblown.
You can't even see Josh.
I don't need to see Josh to feel Josh.
Whoa.
To steal a line from Cubby, the Twins got boned yesterday.
They did.
Just got their doors blown off right from the get-go.
It was not pretty.
No. But they won this series. Day off today. They go to Milwaukee. Bobby Witt Jr. almost messed around and hit for the cycle.
He's pretty damn good, isn't he?
He is.
God, he's good. He's worth the money to that franchise for sure.
Who's the last Kansas City Royal to hit for the cycle that happened in July?
George Brett.
I had a condom on my belt.
Well, at least you're playing it safe.
But they hit a bunch of dongs. I mean, early in that game, one of the dongs that the Royals pumped off of Bailey Ober. Did you see the look on his face? He looked up at one of the baseballs as it was traveling and just thought, well, "What the hell is going on here?" Kansas City, he said to himself.
Yeah.
And their starting pitcher Brady Singer had a nice start. All right, so
nice start. I'd say it was a great start.
Yeah,
7 innings and 10 strikeouts. That's pretty dang good.
Very nice. They got a day off.
Yes. I'm just going to say that 10 strikeouts. I hope this is not going to be the theme for this team again this year, is how many times they strike out.
Oh, yeah.
Because last year that was the conversation, that this team strikes out way too much.
They
so
did.
Hopefully this is not going to be the beginning of that conversation.
And their starting pitching's got to be good beyond Pablo Lopez, too.
Oh, gosh,
What's his name?
Bailey got just hammered.
Cliffy Ryan? What the hell's his first name? It's just
Joe Ryan.
Cliffy Ryan. I like Cliffy
He
Ryan.
did all right. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
All right.
He did all right in his first start. So we'll talk about the series opener in Milwaukee tomorrow with Dick Bramer. Tomorrow with Dick Bramer. We know that Royce Lewis is out for at least a month. We know that now.
Oh, yeah. Brutal.
Bummer.
It sucks. Golden Gopher hockey team got beat Saturday. Boston University beat them, so no trip back home for the Frozen Four. It's a damn shame, but they had a nice year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big missed opportunity.
I wonder what that does for the attendance at this. If that.
Oh, it does everything to it.
Do you think it does everything to it? Or is there already there'll be a lot of excitement for the 4 teams that come here.
But nothing compared to if the U of M was playing or any of those other second-rate college hockey programs that we have here in Minnesota.
Sure, all the bars and restaurants on that street out outside Excel are pretty bummed about that.
I was going to get tickets on Friday night after the show, and then I was like, maybe I'll wait until after this game on Saturday.
I mean, how many second-rate college hockey teams do we have here in Minnesota? Mankato, Duluth, St. Cloud,
Bemidji,
St. Thomas, Bemidji. There's a lot of second-rate. I said Duluth, Wapple.
Whoops. Well, add them again.
You really don't like
Duluth
that.
men and women.
So the Frozen Four looks like this here. Next weekend in St. Paul, Boston University plays Denver. Boston College versus Michigan. Yeah, there'll be some people at the hockey game, but nothing compared to...
The lower bowl will be full, but...
Anyone want it?
No.
You want to talk about filling a bowl? There's different routes you can... That can be a drug reference, it can be a toilet reference, and nobody wants it.
No.
Not even Josh, because he's basking in the glory of murdering everybody in the basketball tournament. The Pigs lost in overtime to the Golden Knights. They tried that pull the goalie thing, in overtime, and then and then they lost the point that they had when they went, that whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much cooked then, right?
Pretty much cooked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ran an ad right before we came on here for the Wild, and they were already advertising packages for next year. So I think that that's probably,
I missed that. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep. No.
They're done.
Zombies on ice. We used to run a bit here years ago where zombies on ice. I don't know if we still have that around.
I think I do.
It was very frightening. We played it whenever the Pigs were officially done, and they had 10, 12 games left, and it didn't matter. Zombies on ice.
It's vital that you stay in your home. Get out of here!
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
They are not men, this is. They are dead bodies, the living dead.
Zombies on ice. People are texting in saying that NCAA Frozen 4 has been sold out for weeks. What do they have, $2 tickets or something? Because who the hell would go there if the University of Minnesota isn't playing?
That was my question, and I think they were already, sure that they'd sold a ton of tickets prior to this.
You got to be nuts to go watch that tournament if the Golden Gophers aren't playing in it. You got to be completely
I think there's
nuts.
a lot of hockey fans in Minnesota that'll have some interest in watching.
I'm just trying to start trouble.
I know you are.
And it's working. I'm getting text messages.
I'm guessing, including in that sellout number, there's a bunch of allotments for the schools that are in it, too. You know, there's probably, I don't know, Michigan probably gets, 3,000 tickets, and it's up to Michigan to sell them.
So
that doesn't mean the building's going to be full.
It'll be. They say it's sold out, so it'll be sold out, but the people just won't be as good looking or fun.
So there'll be a lot of people disguised as feet.
I just pulled up StubHub. The cheapest ticket to get in for Thursday night session is $523.
That'll change.
Wow. That'll change.
Mm-hmm. They just won't be as good looking or fun or successful.
There'll be a lot of people disguised as feet.
And bad news for our guy Marcus Foligno. It sounds like he's done for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Got to have some of that surgery.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But he did his thing. Marcus does his damn thing. Unfortunately, he's going to have to, at least according to what I'm reading, he's going to have to sit out the ass end of the season. We'll talk to him next week. I'm sure he's bummed, but Marcus is a good guy. He plays his nuts off.
Yep. He only knows one speed. He only knows one way to play, right? Otherwise, his dad would whoop his ass.
He did mention last week that he was still afraid of his dad.
Yeah.
Austin Matthews of the Toronto Maple Leafs hit the 60-goal mark for the second time in his career. Saturday, I think it was, he hit 60 goals on the season. Now, this is where the fun kicks in for me. We get to talk about the NHLers who have hit the 60-goal mark once or even more than once. Wayne Gretzky and Mike Bossy hit the 60-goal mark in 5 seasons. They're tied atop that list, 5 seasons each. 4 for Mario Lemieux and Phil Esposito. Brett Hull did it 3 times. Matthews, Pavel Bure, Steve Yzerman, and Jari Kurri did it twice. And then there's quite a list of guys who hit the 60-goal mark once. Connor McDavid, David Pastrnak, Steve Stamkos, Alexander Ovechkin only did it once. Jaromir Jagr, Alexander McGillney, Luke Robitaille, Teemu Selanne, Bernie Nichols, Lanny McDonald. Now that's a man.
And a mustache.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of facial hair, Randy, one time in his career, and I believe this is when he was, I can't remember if he was with Minnesota or Calgary, Denny Marouk.
He had the stash.
Dude, well, he had the full beard.
Yeah.
I mean, so did Lanny McDonald, but he grew the stash out before. Anyway, Denny Marouk could have a full playoff beard cooking after an hour and a half. Guy Lafleur, Steve Shutt, and Reggie Leach hit the 60-goal mark. That's a fun list to read off. And if you follow the NHL, which I don't really like I used to, not even close, you have to wonder, will the Maple Leafs ever get over the hump? One thing that's drawn me to the NHL playoffs over the last few years is watching the Maple Leafs collapse. It's a riot. It really is. So what about this season? Of course, the Bruins stole the Maple Leafs thunder last year by folding in the first round to Florida. That was
the story.
Some of the most fun I've had in a long time.
Right.
So there you go. 60 goals. This is always fun. A NASCAR driver threw his bumper at another car.
First, he's going to finish tearing the rear bumper cover off his car and then wait for Dawson Cram. And his timing and throw was pretty impeccable here.
Yeah, he did a good job at this right here. Boom, right in the windshield.
And I'm sure he'll get a phone call and maybe some other items out of it.
I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I'm saying I understand.
That's Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano going back and forth. This was the JV race Saturday afternoon in Richmond. I love when these guys come uncorked.
You can see it on 93x.com.
Yeah, check that video out. Driver by the name of Joey Gacy. Is it Gacy? I don't know the JV.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
He got wrecked by a driver named Dawson Cram. C-R-A-M, Cram. And Gacy's back bumper was all torn up, so as the other cars are under their caution lap and meandering around the track, Gacy tore what was left of his bumper off of the vehicle, waited for this Cram guy to circle back around, and then throws his bumper into Cram's windshield. That was awesome.
That's cool.
I wish we could get, one of those every race. Punching each other in the helmets. That's good, too.
I always love that move.
I always love the pit road race fights when they go after each other.
Yeah, but take off your friggin' helmet.
It does seem like there's more of that lately. I don't know.
There does. Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are they're touchy. All right, and finally, listen up, dorks. The Vikings will host their NFL draft party at the new Metrodome on April 25th.
What time are we going to get there?
Early.
I think we should camp out on the 24th.
Smart.
Early. I want to be the first one there.
Oh, we should do a broadcast from there.
Oh, don't say that too loud.
If they don't make a trade prior to that, where the trade to move up, if that's what they end up doing, doesn't happen until actually draft night, oh my God, there's going to be so many people.
So people will be nervous.
There's going to be so many tight little...
I was at the draft party at the old Winter Park. I think it was 2010. I was in a working capacity. I was doing my job. But, the fans, it's packed in there in the field house. They're all drinking, and they drafted Christian Ponder, and people stormed out of that place. They were so pissed off.
You guys just didn't understand Christian Ponder. So, what do you think, Randy Shaver? Will the trade happen, and will they do it beforehand?
I guess that's a very good question. They'll likely try and do it before the draft because they're going to want to know where they sit. When you wait until anything can happen on draft night, and crazy things can happen. And to wait that long, I don't think that's probably what they want to do. So my guess is that they'll get something done prior to the draft.
The thing is, every team sitting in that spot, in those upper spots, know why they made that trade. So they're not going to be in a hurry to make a trade with the Vikings. They may think the Vikings are going to throw in an extra player or an extra pick or something.
And that's
That's
why I say for them, for the Vikings, it's probably a much better scenario for them to get it done prior to the draft.
For sure.
Because anything can happen on draft night. Teams can jump ahead of them, can do a whole bunch of different things that may surprise you. And the last thing they want to do, if this is indeed what they're going to do, if they're going to move up to take a quarterback, I think that their thought process is, let's get it done now so we at least know we've got a chance at one of those top 4 guys.
God, that's funny as hell, Brad Ryder. I'm going to have to pay more attention tomorrow night when the Pigs are on television. They're already running ads for tickets for next season.
Right, I was on hold, and I heard the Wild ad right before we came on the air, and it was for packages for next season.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, well, if we talk about the Wild today, I know where their mind's at.
Oh, man. And did you
they are 8 games out of the playoff spot, but they've only got 9 games to go.
8 points out with 9. Is 8 points, you said?
Yes, 8 points. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. What the hell? Maybe
that's a lot, though.
And they got to jump another team, too.
All right.
That's a lot of
points. It's probably over. This is great, too. I didn't know this. The Mankato State basketball trophies for the men's and women's tournament championship, it's already been decided, will be on the front page of next month's AARP magazine.
Oh, man.
My grandma used to get that.
I get it every week.
Yeah. God, I love taking digs at the other college hockey programs in town. I just have so much fun with that. I'm sorry. I enjoy it too much.
It gets them riled up.
I know. I'll never stop. I had 2 text messages come in this morning saying, "Kiss my Maverick ass." You're not a real hockey team. But we can sit down and talk about this face to face.
This is why we miss the WCHA so much.
I know. God,
that that stuff was fun.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
We could access each other a lot more easily then, couldn't we?
Yes.
Yes. We had a lot more fun back then. All right, you goofy bastards. Nice work. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful April Fool's Day, and we'll talk to you very, very soon.
Sounds good.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
Mike Carruthers shares little pieces of intel and interviews you can use to improve your life on the Something You Should Know podcast.
The next time you're looking for a job and have to write a cover letter, here's some advice from Skip Freeman, author of a book called Headhunters Hiring Secrets. Add a PS to the bottom of that cover letter. That can actually increase the chances of that letter being read by up to 75%. Some people actually glance down and read the PS first.
Something You Should Know. Search on YouTube or wherever you listen.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Cubby.
Yo.
You're my ultimate side dish.
Oh, my goodness.
What a terrific crowd we got out there. A great crowd. It's Monday. And it sucks, but we'll get through it. It's 8:26 here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. We appreciate you very much for being there. All right. New trends.
We're all over them.
Let's hit another one of these new trends. Because before you know it, it'll evaporate, and the next thing will roll into town. Plus, I love to be trendy. I want to be that guy. I want to know what everybody's wearing. What are they saying? Because I want to say it. What are they doing? Because I want to do it.
What are they watching? You're going to want to watch it.
Absolutely. I bet if Ashley was here, she'd be all over this, but shockingly, she didn't make it into work today. I bet she'd be all over this because she'll likely have a lot of divorces in her career before she's finally too old to operate. By the time she's too old to get around, I bet she'll have some divorces under her belt. I think as far as, a personal friend of mine, the most divorces I've ever known would be 5.
Wow. Oh, geez. I've got a buddy who's on his 3rd wife, so 2 divorces. And I thought that was a decent number.
5, though. My goodness.
Yeah.
Your same age.
No, sorry. But it is someone that I personally knew. They're gone now. But it's someone I personally knew.
Dang. God, you get the 5th one free?
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
You're a repeat customer, the divorce attorney's
got the punch card.
She made it into her 70s. And I think, she hit 5 of them. 5 marriages, 5 divorces.
Do you know the shortest and the longest?
No, I don't. I wish I could tell you that information. But I think she had a little bit of everything. Was one that lasted a month, one that lasted 10 years. She was around for a while, so, she got her done.
The friend of mine, each one was a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, though, his first wife, he was with for many, many years prior to that, though.
I hear you. All right, here's that new trend I was telling you about. People posting an online registry for your divorce.
What?
Yeah. The idea is that people can be financially vulnerable at the time of a divorce, and there's a good chance they'll only have half their stuff.
Yeah, I suppose if it's not very amicable, it can be expensive, lawyer fees and stuff like that, and maybe one person gets a lot more. I know somebody going through divorce right now that maybe could use something like this.
Yeah, and then, you move out of the house, and now you need to get a bed, you need to get a couch, you need to get all the dishes, all that stuff.
I do remember when I got divorced, going to making like $1,000 Target run damn near just by the little things you don't think of, like, I need to get a trash basket and a shower curtain. Also,
all the stuff that's fun to buy as an adult.
Exactly. Like, this is great.
Little things. And a lot of that stuff, you never knew where the hell it came from in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You had the same trash basket since you were 10, right? And suddenly it's gone. Where do I buy a trash basket? You've never shopped for some of these items before. And so some people think it's a great idea and argue that if you register yourself at, say, a Target or something for your divorce, it can be even more helpful than newlywed couples. Even more helpful than providing newlywed couples with stuff because of what we just discussed. Divorces can be freaking brutal, and you find yourself without a pot to piss in. Other folks are lighting this up. Folks are saying, if you're old enough to get a divorce, you're old enough to go get your own damn stuff. If you broke it, you buy it. Kind of a vibe. I think it depends on the situation. I'm not just going to flat out crush this idea altogether. It depends on the person and their situation, because like Josh said, it can get bad.
Yeah, also depends on your age. If you're younger when you got married and then you get divorced, now you really don't have anything.
Yeah, it was kind of a situation with Ashley, but I'm with you, Nick. Like, I wouldn't, crap on this idea necessarily. Like, if I got divorced, which I was a little worried my youngest was going to want my wife and I to get divorced, because this particular divorce I was telling you about, the kids recently found out, and then they found out, hey, you know what? That means 2 Xboxes, one at each house, 2 PlayStations.
Yeah.
One of the houses, 2. They mentioned that. We're going to get a pool at one of the houses. I thought, you better shut up, because my son's going to try and break us up. It sounded so great. But yeah, so if it were me, I wouldn't be comfortable with asking folks for something like that. But I could see if somebody was in a situation, even if it was the same crappy situation I was in, I'd be happy to help out if I could.
I'm the same way, Josh. I would never set one up myself, but I can see why it would come in handy. But yeah, I just couldn't. Hey, check out my registry, guy.
Have you tried pooping on the carpet? Jesus has texted in on our conversation on gift registries for divorced folks. And he said in his divorce, his wife even took the can opener.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, that's one of those. That's one of those things where I'd imagine if you get divorced, you go to open a can and realize, I never even thought of that. I need a can opener.
It's like when you don't have a wine bottle opener, so then you get a bottle of wine and you're trying everything to get the cork out.
The can opener thing just reminded me. After I got divorced, I moved into my apartment. I cooked a frozen pizza, realized I didn't have a pizza cutters, had to use a pair of scissors.
Oh, there's pizza scissors.
You didn't have a friggin' knife?
I don't know if I did. I just thought the scissors was like the first option I came up with.
Jesus Christ.
You could have folded it like a taco, made it like that.
Somehow we ended up with like 4 pizza cutters over the years.
Nice.
We gave a couple away. I wish I would have known. One of them's the Starship Enterprise. I kept that one.
Oh, you got to keep that one for yourself.
Siding Jesus. I see what you mean. Siding Jesus is texted in. He says, so let me get these straight. 2 people I know get married. I got him a gift. Now I need to get him a divorce gift too. Oh, hell no, he says. I get it, but consider an extreme situation. If the 2 people are, comfortable financially, and maybe they're still young and their folks have some money, F them. I'm not getting those people a gift.
Maybe one person that you care about really got screwed over.
Yeah, right. Consider that effing person. And someone said something about age. When I got divorced, I was lucky enough to be, neither one of us had much, so it wasn't like, oh, God, no, she took the this or that. I mean, we didn't have much in the first place, and I was doing okay financially, okay at best back in those days. Okay, fine, Josh. Now I'm thinking back to when this was. I wasn't doing okay, was I?
I know where you were at.
Right.
We're in the same spot.
Right, but
not okay.
No, I was not okay fine. But here's where I lucked out. I was young enough to where it was still totally cool to ask 2 or 3 of my buddies, hey, you want to move in somewheres together?
Sure.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so you split the bills on everything, and I wasn't paying that much for rent or cable or whatever the hell else a grown person. But if you're 53 years old, you can't ask your buddy, hey, me and 2 guys are going to move into an apartment. They're going to say, hell no, I ain't moving. When you're that age, you're not going to be living with pals.
Right.
What's the age where you should have your own place?
Oh, hell, I don't know.
What do you mean? Like if you're old enough?
Like if you're single?
Yeah.
You tired of renting from that landlord?
No,
well, sometimes it might be a temporary thing, right? I mean, I can tell you that me before I got married and then me when I got married, we hosted quite a few dudes going through divorces over the years.
Yeah, I guess it's more or less, they signed a lease together for like another year and they're still living in that house. Like, what age do you think, okay, probably should get your own apartment or something?
Well, for me, I wanted to be alone, and it happened to me, I think, when I was about 28, 9, 30. I don't know. Well, there's no real given. Whenever the hell you can afford it.
Yeah.
That's when you can get your own place.
That'll be never.
Pancakes by the lake, Jesus said after a divorce he had a TV, a stereo, and a pillow. Good enough, I said at the time.
Got the essentials.
Yeah, my wife can she can have whatever. I wouldn't care.
You don't care?
I mean,
you're not going to fight her over the air fryer or anything?
But I wouldn't care. I mean, there's only like 2-3 things that I'd even care about.
See, if I split up with my current friggin' wife, there's nothing of mine that she would want. So that battle would never happen, really.
Yeah, same with me and my divorce. Like, she wasn't putting up a fight for the Donkey Kong machine. She just let me have that.
I guess I should say, I should state that differently. Everything that I care about that's in that house, she has no interest in. So we wouldn't have. So
I suppose the older you are when you get married, that helps too, right? Because she's already got the stuff that you'd need at her age and you at the same thing.
Right. There is a website called Divorceist. Divorceist. So the word divorce and then add ist at the end. Divorceist.com that will help people set up their divorce registries. They say, we'll help the newly single build a circle of support so they can start over better than before. I should do their ads. I sounded great right there, didn't I?
It was a good read.
It was a good combination of being earnest, forthright, sexy, and everything you want in a commercial.
And just so they know, he doesn't one take.
One take.
I am a one-take guy if I'm going to cut your ads. I can promise you that. So there you go. Why not? If someone's really behind the friggin' 8-ball, get them a friggin' TV.
Mm-hmm. Even just helping him move or something, too.
Oh, hell no.
You'll cut a check, but you're not going to waste a Saturday afternoon.
I'd rather pick up a second job, earn enough money to hire movers for that person.
Again, that's a young man's game. Sure, if I'm 27 or 8 and my buddy says, hey, can you help? Of course, not hell, these days, hell no. I'll give you the money to call the mover.
Blacktop Mojo Mofo Jesus checked in and said that if my wife ever left me, she better not take the electric knife he got me. That's right. For Christmas at one of our Toys for Tatas drives, he brought me an electric knife. It's a prized possession. That's one of the things I wouldn't.
That's cool.
I would not part with that.
So your wife left you without a pizza cutter, you said, Dana?
Mm-hmm.
Someone texted in earlier and said his wife even took the can opener. Last week, you said, it's your fault now if people don't like the story, but last week or a week before, Dana, you said you love Wang stories, my buddy Wang.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things any of us have ever seen. Now, this is sort of similar to getting a divorce and you're out on your own. This was in our early days right out of high school, moving out, together. Living on our own for the first time, even though you've got roommates, you're out there. No longer living with mom and dad, and Wang walked into the kitchen of this house that we shared, and he wanted to make himself a can of raviolios, and he's kind of going through the drawers. Okay, there's 3-4 other guys in the house. What did everyone bring? There was no electric can opener, and he was used to that, living with his mother, running an electric can opener.
I always thought you were rich if you had one of those. Fancy.
We even had one of those, and we were far from rich.
Did you have the kind that mounts underneath the cabinet?
Yeah, no, it was just a apparatus. You hauled it out, put it on the counter, and plugged it in, and there was a magnet that held the can. So anyway, Wang had only ever operated a electric can opener, and there was nothing funnier than three of us walking into the kitchen and seeing Wang, who's staring at his can of Ravioleos and his manual can opener on the counter, having no idea how to operate it.
Yeah.
And we had to say, dude, do you not know how to? He had no idea. We had to show him as a 19, 20, 21 how to operate a manual can opener.
I would love to have been there just to observe, not offer to help, just see how long it takes him to make an attempt and what kind of attempt that is.
He's chewing through it.
Yeah. He was too afraid to. He just stared at it.
Yeah.
He did the same thing when his car wouldn't start. He would just go outside and stare at it. Too afraid to ask anyone for help, too afraid to try anything on his own.
Maintenance Messiah said that one of his buddies called him after his wife left him and said she took the ice trays. She was mad.
That's cold.
She was mad. Checkerboard Van Jesus said, you want a cold-blooded move? Buy 2 items off the wedding registry, one for now and one for the divorce. Sure.
I like that move. All right, good luck, folks who are on the brink. But now I guess it's not completely ridiculous to put your name in the on the list of divorce registries. Go ahead. All right, moving on. You ain't cool unless you know what's going on Reddit, right?
That's where it's at, I've heard.
You got to know what's going on Reddit. Someone on Reddit asked this question. This is a tough question. And think about it if you have to. What's the best nude scene Hollywood has ever produced? TVs, I suppose you can't be naked on television. So movies, whatever, cable series, whatever, all that stuff. I don't know why I was thinking television. They still don't let you get naked on regular television.
Not broadcast.
What's the best nude scene Hollywood has ever produced? Go ahead and text us your ideas on that, 651-989-9393. I got a few things in mind.
If, we're talking like topless would count, right?
Thank you for asking. Yes, it doesn't have to be fully on, full frontal. They're counting topless scenes, bottomless, this, that.
Yeah, because there was a couple on the list I didn't remember full frontal nudity. So, okay, topless for me would be National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yep.
The shower scene.
First boobs I ever saw.
I don't know if it was I think the first boobs I ever saw on TV were, was on the movie Stripes.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm. But the one that stuck with me was Vacation. Mm-hmm. I was so shocked and pleased.
And it comes out of nowhere, too. It's
exactly.
Like they pull off the highway, they park in the hotel parking lot, all of a sudden, boom, there she is just showering naked.
That's why I think it was a part of it for me.
A lot of times you can kind of see that coming, like, all right, there might be some nudity here. But that one is just slaps you upside the head.
In such a good way.
Mm-hmm. In a glorious way.
Beverly D'Angelo.
That's a good one. Good one, Cubby. So, people jumped in on this on Reddit. And the top answer, the most popular answer, the best nude scene Hollywood has ever produced, well, Danny DeVito was greased up and totally naked on an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
People talk about that one a lot.
So funny. Crawls out of the leather couch.
Yeah. I had never actually seen it. This morning I looked it up after this article. And that's something.
Yeah, it is. Never saw it, the show or the scene. He's not naked. It's television.
Well, he's naked.
Yeah.
But you could see his butt. It was on FX, so you can show a little more.
Close enough. No, I never saw it.
Yeah, once you see it, it's one of those things you can't unsee.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Will you show it to me, Josh?
Yeah. Here, I want to see.
Who doesn't love Danny DeVito? I've never watched him on this, but Danny DeVito is one of the coolest cats. Okay, he's crawling out of a couch. Oh yeah, he's butt-ass naked. Good Lord. Does anybody want to explain to me? Would it even be worth explaining to me why?
No.
Okay, fair enough. That's funny. Danny DeVito is very funny. So that was the most popular answer on Reddit. The others that were mentioned: Alexandria Daddario on a program called True Detective.
Oh, yes.
I just rewatched that first season. That is so good.
For that purpose?
No, not, because I watched the new one.
Sure.
Right? And so I rewatched the first one. Boy, those actors are good.
So good. That
Matthew
first season.
McConaughey especially is good.
Never saw it, but I believe I did see this clip of Alexander Daddario naked on, I don't know, a porno site or something. So I think isn't she straddling some guy?
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson.
I bet that was a tough day on set.
Yep.
Poor guy.
Oh, for Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
I thought you meant for Alex because he's twice her age.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. Yes.
Some of the other top vote getters. Oh, I hate this. I hate that this always comes up whenever there's a conversation about nude scenes. Maybe because I'm still pissed off at this movie because it was so stupid. The 3-boobed woman in Total Recall.
That stuck with me. I don't know that I'd call it one of the greatest, but it's definitely one of the more memorable. I remember being disturbed by that.
We were just talking about first sets of boobs you saw on a movie. That might throw you a little bit if that was the first one. There's 3 of them? Is that on every woman?
You got to know what you're doing if that was your first time. Roller Girl, played by, what was her name again? The movie is Boogie Nights. Heather Graham?
Heather Graham, there it is.
Roller Girl.
I've never actually seen that movie.
Very good movie.
Yeah, you'd love it, Josh. She gets full-on frontal in Boogie Nights. And
that's Mark Wahlberg, right?
Yep. Yes. Mm-hmm. And I watched that in the theater, and I'm not ashamed to admit that when she threw off all her clothes and Heather Graham was 1996, whatever it was, full-on naked,
maybe?
I couldn't help but go, ah! In the theater. I scared some people.
I didn't know she got naked in that.
Word life. Phoebe Cates.
Of course.
Coming smooth out the pool in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Legendary.
Half-assed morning show.
69. This show sucks. Who are you, fart knockers?
93X.
All right, what's the story now? We're almost out. God bless us. We're almost out of here on this Monday, April Fool's Day. Here's what Reddit dorks have been talking about, and we decided to jump on this. They've been talking about what's the best nude scene Hollywood ever put together for us. The top answer, Danny DeVito, coming smooth out of a leather couch, all greased up and in the nude, on a program called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Beyond that, Alexander Daddario in a show called True Detective, the 3-boobed woman in Total Recall, the Roller Girl in Boogie Nights, Phoebe Cates coming out the pool, Fast Times Ridgemont High. Here's what we didn't get to from the Reddit people. Denise Richards and Nev Campbell, slobbering all over each other in the pool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wild Things.
Yes.
Quite a few people text in on that one.
Great effing movie.
I read some stat once that was like the most stolen VHS tape from movie stores in the 90s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like that movie a lot. I was really surprised to see this get mentioned on Reddit. The shower scene in Starship Troopers.
I don't remember a lot of these, but people would text that in too.
Mm-hmm. I really liked that scene, because I thought, man, wouldn't that be cool if every time you got in the shower, a couple of gals would join you? I like that scene from Starship Troopers. That's cool. Nicole Kidman getting totally naked in that oddball-ass movie called Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, it was a weird one.
I saw it in the theater, and I wish I didn't.
It's kind of one of those one-and-done ones. I don't think I'm going to revisit that one.
I'm kind of surprised Basic Instinct didn't make the list with Sharon Stone. What are you going to do? Arrest me for smoking, crossing and uncrossing the leg?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's famous.
The ones that I was surprised not to see. Of course, Titanic, the gal takes her shirt off and the drawing, all that.
Yep.
Absolutely Sharon Stone. Porky's shower scene.
Yes.
Revenge of the Nerds hidden camera scene. Others that came to mind for me, because it's not always about, ooh, look how hot, these people are. Sometimes it's just a really cool movie scene. The shower scene from Carrie. That's such a creepy, uncomfortable. Do you guys even know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, was that like right in the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah.
The shower scene from Carrie, I thought, was just, it's awful. But, you know, it is something that Hollywood put together, and it's a movie that folks still talk about today. Oh, God, you know, I did research some other lists online of great nude scenes. Harvey Keitel, Bad Lieutenant. It'll make you sick, that movie. Nobody bad no. We've done this many times.
You talked about how disturbing. I'm not a big fan of disturbing movies.
Oh,
so
I like disturbing.
I'm passing on that.
Borat and his pal wrestling. Borat and his buddy wrestling on the hotel room bed.
We got so many texts on that. Now, that was disgusting, but the black bars they had over the privates was so funny.
Borat's is like 2 feet long.
That was so perfectly disgusting and hilarious.
Yeah, it was. It was a good combo of that where you're cringing the whole time, but
there's only so much room on these lists, you know.
The black censor bars, that was so funny.
Brother and sisterhood text messages. You're right, Josh. That scene was friggin' great. I mean, I was pulling imaginary hairs out of my mouth after watching that scene. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just, oh, God. But it was so perfect. Here's what the brother and sisterhood texted my way. Their thoughts on the greatest nude scene that Hollywood ever produced. Halle Berry, what's that movie called? Monsters Ball. Margot Robbie, the Wall Street dork, whatever.
Well, Halle Berry's also getting texts about Swordfish.
Yeah.
That
the
was
most
my first
unnecessary topless scene of all time.
Yeah, that was my first topless scene I ever saw. It was either that or around the same time, Slapshot with Hammerhand's wife.
Hammerhand's wife, she's something. She's just scrapping. Jamie Presley, Poison Ivy. Never saw it. I'd like to see that.
I didn't know she ever got nude or half nude on film.
Angelina Jolie, a movie called...
Was it Wanted?
She plays a model. I think it was her first movie. Jilly. She's naked almost the whole damn thing. The hotel scene in the movie Flight, right at the beginning of the movie with Denzel Washington and some scorching hot woman. Selma Hayek. What is it, Desperado?
A lot of people texting in on Margot Robbie from Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
Gorgeous.
Daryl Hannah's naked ass in Splash. Euro Trip, Nude Beach. I don't know what that means.
Seen that.
Oh, yeah.
Wapple, you love Jennifer Lawrence.
Yep.
A listener said Jennifer Lawrence Full Frontal, a movie called No Hard Feelings. She's beating up teenagers on the beach.
Yeah, that was very funny.
Anybody see Poison Ivy?
Yeah, the one with
Jamie Presley?
Yeah, I mentioned that one.
Oh, I thought you said a different Jamie Presley movie.
No, I said Poison's Ivy.
Oh, okay.
Jamie Lee Curtis topless in Trading Places. I love this. The Cemetery Dance, Return of the Living Dead. A gal gets completely naked. Thank you for mentioning that, because that's a great movie, and that gal is just incredible.
Daryl Hannah's butt in Splash.
I mentioned that one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, for Pete's sakes. I should come to work one of these days. You're going too fast. Slow down.
I'm sorry. We're out of time. And the two penises in Hall Pass.
Oh, I've never seen Hall Pass.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's one of the dumbest movies of all time, is how you say it.
I've seen parts of it.
But that scene is interesting.
Well, now I'm afraid to say it. Did you mention Sydney Sweeney?
No, I don't know what that means.
Those are some of my favorites.
From The Voyeurs. The only reason I know her, she was recently on, was it Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, she's big from Euphoria, and she's topless more often than she's not in that show.
Quite a few people said the Team America World Police sex scene. That's the most graphic sex scene. Oh, it's not. That's the most graphic sex scene I've ever seen.
And they had to cut part of it out, too. It was just the funniest part.
I'm with Dana. I think that's hot.
Oh, man, the Cleveland Steamer.
By the way,
my gosh.
I've heard of this movie for years and never saw it. Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, that movie will haunt your dreams for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I heard that's another weird one.
Someone texted on the topic of, best nude scenes. Someone texted and said, if anyone texts in Requiem for a Dream, block their number forever.
Yeah, it's very disturbing scene.
Oh, it's that disturbing?
Yeah, we watched that movie in the dorms freshman year, and my buddy got up off the couch we were sitting in. He goes, "Oh, I don't think I'll ever be happy again for the rest of my life."
What's it about, even?
Drug addiction.
Oh.
People just get so deep into addiction.
So it's disturbing.
Mhm.
I like disturbing.
You would like
movies.
it. You would
I
like
do.
it.
I
Yeah,
do.
not me.
I like Bad Lieutenant because it's friggin' disgusting and disturbing. And if you like Harvey Keitel, you get to see his penis and his testicles.
Oh, he's great. I don't need to see that. But yeah, I think he's great.
We'll print you out a still shot of it, Josh.
No,
thank you for all your texts. You folks know naked. You know naked.
On liver number 2, Jesus texted in to say it's National Donate Life Month and wanted a shout out asking people to consider being an organ donor. Gear jamming, diesel burning Jesus could use some thoughts today. His grandma had a stroke last night, said she's doing okay now, but hoping she and the family hangs in there. Happy 32nd birthday to Ronnie from your girlfriend. Happy 33rd birthday to Chris, Power Ranger Highland Jesus from your Sturgis biker mama Jesus. And happy 35th to Forklift Certified Jesus.
The 93X half-assed morning show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. Visit standardheating.com.